that's why chemega me min danye fancy nishipi eba trashi kushmelo is in the building. Yeah, shiba mi ofaineke ojako ni femo jani femo yeah shiba mi kiamoko ni leun eke hamoko yeah shiba mi ona boni ni yo pokwa se jama manche impa mi bodo manye nyamuja ni jeten ofaine bebo oyojugba what's our be ko wolone nyeke the last year ni ruling na jepo if show ko ye shino mi mbwen live shows femo so I'm sure ake ekole kana kan bia mi still or call me ekole onna down ni kana kan bia mi okwa mi ebe onna ko down now no ani san igwo ne keni ne no ka to monye boni wangbasane e bia ni onuni woche kome echitan ni strike ni ake sani wasa wobote ne ke wolo na emi ko ni no ani mi fe ko ni wasa ko ka mo ko bibu ake na moji ganja seche ni odna itoni okabanhale now wolo ake atron mo ni jija seche because jeno sande ake te court she a challenge ni chumo ni wache Nii Yaote Oto ganchu ehan Nii Adama Latse ake ja seche me ni kete court to ba na me ni amekete court na me challenge na kan no ake court ke contempt anme wache Nii Yaote Oto gano akebe eche mla ke gan traditional council here Antoine the judicial committee ni yo jeme ni akebelo enme no akeka che jaseche ni eteno ni echu neke no ko no ewo court sanction le I mean I hold le in contempt ni boli abami fema gagmene wo ni bi enkafi oba kekemi ona boni ni yo shin bio ya ke court me kele te court ake no na echu ebe mla gbena esa ni echu na kan noko ni court weke dabi sani ani nyeke ba nye mamomi because ken kwani chumo ni mo chufe totomo kokla be no kokla echon ake ni chumo ni wache Nii Yaote Oto ganchuwe na kan no esa na efio na kan no eche judicial committee ye gan traditional council yin atwa alo efe no ko na esa na efio no akeji ake Nii Yaote Oto gante court ake to ni eto wache Nii Adama Latse esa na efio ni court weke dabi toye ke kusumi na efi Nii Adama Latse totomo kokla be manage no ni court tawo na eke wo aga na efe mlasa na ewo no na ke teje me no abaye akeya ke court ya chon mi nko gbo anukwale akeya ke court ya chon moni jija seche aloje moni jija seche si ake mo konche e ja seche ni nichu moni echu ake ja seche na kan no esa na echu because ya meni kete esusu mo mie je le jija seche si court wa unke dabi mo nichu mo na echu totomo kokla be no ne nichu mo na echu etoko mlako no nichu mo na echu efele ojo kan no manage no ni oba kokejemi you boy ojugba oba bote document mi ni what can any boli no fe no afe pepepe yeah shiba mi bomodin yeah His Royal Majesty is in the building now His Royal Majesty mene ewo court we ewo court eba ewe no go ewo mene elia go na video extra blue coat ebe ga mama yue Extra go to blue. Hey, His Royal Majesty. His Royal Majesty. Oh. Okay, get you. Yeah. His Royal Majesty. Viva. Extra go to blue. Agago, Osmo Zani. Shout out still, Mr. Sean. Mpofane boy ojuba, Mr. Sean Matrashi. Awatao. Ni His Royal Majesty if a request. Nyani nyani ma hona na ga request His Royal Majesty. So to mobani mi we can show here. Konyo na ke no bio ya ke kedi ake watche Nii Yaote Oto ga jele jija seche ani kusumi ni echuwe mini jino ni kotue keye many jino ni kotue keye no babote mi mene koni ona bodenche GH Leled inyemi ofanete oyoten be oye ojogba oyi wala don ake obafita we chebeke nyame mi kpabo fai bomode ni ojani fe mo to mo be ni nchon ni okehamoko ni okehamoko mene producer say amete mo gokula if go ready akuche mi nage if go ready ayabache if go ready producer say nna kwa amete mo gokula aye bi so nyani igwaga mana His Royal Majesty, here you go. Nyani nkechwanye. His Royal Majesty. Nyemeni nyenye pano kama bia ni wombolo His Royal Majesty. Nya wachwanye monidi His Royal Majesty. Ngegmene chako to blue. Oh, chevega yebe. Ejele na agbo aye sometimes boli ogego ba wo emi je nale now His Royal Majesty nale let me show it to you man grace over ne boy ojugba na His Royal Majesty ni ofe nale nye vade be nyena His Royal Majesty lene nale His Royal Majesty nale That's right. Man, you feel me? Do as I say association. Ameba me nkwe. Mene we go. Mene ni tete ba ukaba. Do as I say organization. Man, you feel me? Ameba. His Royal Majesty nale. Mene blue. A chako to blue the volley. His Royal Majesty. Aba. Anyway, so back to business. So, so Tomaboni, I want you to know only anukwale ni yomi. Kaji moko kebo Nii Yaote Oto gasanie. No le anukwale no le makebo noko. Ye neke lawsuit ne no ni jepo emi ni eba makebo noko. Mie nke makebo anukwale. I will tell you the truth. But before ni makebo noko mi babu fai. Nyani wakewolone achon. Ofane jani femo yi kiyamoko ni lewu eja ni me aba fata wohi ona boni mi gontino ni ya nwenko ya eshiba mi wonyeme tamabi amechon yi none ni nke chonbo customary ban on drumming and noise making agmale 2nd March 2026 all divisional chiefs tema so come on got a tema stool and Tema Traditional Council wish to bring to the notice of the general public, i.e. individuals, groups, institutions, churches, mosques, every social gathering, etc. in the Tema Traditional area that this year's customary ban on drumming and noise making will take effect from Friday 1st May to Saturday 23rd May 2026. During the period, the Tema Stool and Traditional Council respectfully forbid burial and funeral ceremonies, as well as any form of noise making. The areas affected by this directive are Tema Mahia, Newtown, and all the communities under Tema: Ashaman, Zinu, Kubekro, Adigong, Sasabi, Klagon, Ajekojo, Sakumono, and Ajeman. It is the expectation of the Stool/Council that the directive will be heeded to, resulting in the performance of a vital customary rite. This is to usher in the Umar festival and avoid confrontations between representatives of the Stool/Council and community members, submitted respectfully as directed by council. So, Ofaine, Yetoma, Friday 1st May to Saturday 23rd May, ni ameba duma. Ofane ke olemoko bomode koni okele ni lewu ekemoko ni akatom lano amebo nshishije mo ni the traditional council ke all the other councils say look It's any by this time, your calendar say favorite yomo, nye release any biomo. I'm glad I can Toman Traditional Council. It's gonna be in May, where March, at least 2 months ahead of time. I wish I can shugwe ebabale February po. You understand what I'm saying? Ni what for no try, what for no try, what for no try. Boni afe, ni kebe share meye kaka mele. Now, sometimes it get too close. Again, I release to una be far for the necessary education. I don't look at this point. Your life as Game, we shouldn't be doing this every year. Babonye bale we sani wafi. You understand what I'm saying? So I've always wished I can neke timetable de kefi baje ko mlan bona traditional council no nane I'm May April then ya me baba 2 or 3 weeks before then ya me baba esana me jia me no pomo esana osu me jia me no pomo esani la me jia. You understand what I'm saying? All the towns esani by this time I'm a jia I'm no pomo way ahead of time. Schedule ejepo Nimo femo FFA aware. You understand? Ake radio stations, ake TV stations, ni announce le ojogban. We cannot wait. Ni a few weeks, 2-3 weeks before ni abaje kusumi enshishem. Then ya gbene wa eba bo enshitwa. Be wake ni bi enya. Ona boni ni yo. Eke moko ba ke nuwe ni mene ni nkranfo de da na nyangba wona. Nye gamele nye fenege, nye gamele nye fenege dabi. So I'm glad I kept Tomambia, I may release, I may not be an it is my prayer and my wish. Okay, the rest of the traditional councils I may follow, they should not wait. Ni ebashe be 2-3 weeks before the time. Then even 1 month. I think a traditional council usually I may release or neke press and a month before. That is too late. That is too late in the game. It's Sunny I may release it. I would wish I could catch Jafile Shishipo no. You understand what I'm saying? Because let me tell you something. On a tekomo, come in fake kusumi ojuba. Tekomo, be a boy kanemweche. I guarantee you, no more lakoti adwa wishi a boy be kanemweche. So bena baka jafile shishi, no more lakoti adwa wishi ele boni. I mean ele beni ndeke kusum jine fe bafi. Eme na babo temi dan e babo tekomo. No more lakoti adwa wishi. Festivity no boy. I am pretty sure. Bona, but because I feel any bio ba 1 month before I make calendar, I have a press conference. I push here nothing. Bona, so in one night when you met Tomambi, I make a bamlang. I hope I can next year. Maybe I'm about February instead of March, and I hope I get the rest of the traditional councils. New York, Cafe. I mean, no babamlang. Shout out to you, Robert. Ofane boy your juba. Anti magi osuyo kwakwa ofane bebo oye ojugba naemisa ofane bebo oye ojugba. So yeah ishibami bomode ni okemoko once again Toman Traditional Council Friday 1st May to Saturday 23rd May 2026 ni amebadu amema ni mofemo afi aware agbenenwe tumobeni nkebwe nke boba makebo no ko lawsuit no ni je no ni makane mabo shi maswo no kwa video ni real quick komo video ni la se intwa komo ni okwe Nii Yaote Oto gambia mi ni ejie Nii Adama Latse ke ha gamefe awokwe no
Ago.
oh dabi ye ago chemega nyame ye no nta o mayu dabi imba ye no nta o mayu ye ago chemega nyame ye no nta o mayu mimba. There we go. Any nta o maji akuche nwe ba trashi mo kla be ma we ba akuche nwu eba so ko biamini weche Nii Yaote Oto ga ejie Nii Adama Latse powe come on. Impa fane komo boje onu fama ke nye fane nyenu nye fe nyenu audio nye fe nyenu yuemo alo nye te mokonu no ni bese yu okoni makwe ke mi je ni because ina mokome wache kome fi ma ke enu sound there so fane ke je le penny ekoni makwe kenye okay le ke wona ke bele ekulele eje ni so fane nya animalia. So nyemene nyele wache Nii Yaote Oto gan nale lene Nii Yaote Oto gane ganja seche le ona le ebaje Nii Adama Latse echon game ake le ake ja seche de nye ganja si yin mancheni ametone. Yes, sounded because noise yeah, Jemmy, this is not from me. It's from the video and mean try me humble way. So there you have Nii Yaote Oto gan. Ni ewo Nii Adama Latse ni no. Ake le ja seche ike game ike inkenye manchen chonye ashimashie moni ike ja ike le etole. You will never find a video nike in a gathering such as this. Ni wole ni ekelenchon game fe ni eke game na nyebe moni eke tole ja moni eke le tole mancha ashimashie. You will never find a video koneke. Once again, bono ni you are in a gathering such as this. Ni obana ni ekelenchon. You will never find it. Now what chan. Right. So ke obawa ye cheko ni ona konege video ne kayochi in the coming weeks matwa video ojogba mahabo bona ni matwa video ne matwa le ojogba matwa ke jeshishije ke atana agbe fen oba na fen in the coming weeks. We are working on it. Boni afeni no fair no afe ojogba. You understand what I'm saying? Last time you were try when you were try ojogba because a break ball is an old tape. So one try and you will fix lelo. The tape is very, very old. You can actually see from the nature of the video. But now again, you understand what I'm saying? So be on the lookout. Just in a matter of weeks. No bana ke shishide kusumi na afi oba na fe DVD say ekome 10. A span over 3 days. 3 days nuchumo. 3 days. 3 days. Wake fe ba chombo. So what cross your fingers ni won soli ake abanya tuni ye tape boni watawo ni atuni ye keke wakaba. Now, so neke kusumi ne na afi led by watch Nii Yaote Oto ganio na le video mi. Ni cheme komekete court ni ameke ahodi Nii Yaote Oto gan in contempt aga belo engme no ake ekache ja seche ni eche na kan belo na kan me no eche yin atoa ni echukusumi na efefe ni bi ake ja seche no se nwe ya no ni carry yourself ake ja seche ibi ake ja seche ne wo court a hold le in contempt. One bono ni yetwe ake kusumi ye na etwe esa na etwe ake ja seche because ake belo egme no se one etwe kusumi atan still ya no ni eche ja seche olo no court a hold le in contempt. Manage no ni court ke nya wo bote a document say me ni what can ya to beni ke bo boni afa ni ke mo ko bibu ake na moji gaja seche koni oyue mojugba. Now chemeka yeme I'm telling you this on authority. Anyway me rue amesumo na you anu kwale watch ani tetekwe le personally le lawsuit na ele ego onuwe ona nyemi ji nyemi bona boni ni ego no ni nyemi ji nyemi ni bi ekome you understand what I'm saying because Charlie wo eji wo ona esra ni oba fe no go na ba wo ko pabun nyemi gan no go fe ka wo le pabun ba mi ke bo ake look neke no kwe bom to mi ke bo ake wache ni ni tetekwe that's monimita o mache egbe wache ni tetekwe ene eleko je Nii Yaote Oto. If you heard me say Nii Yaote Oto earlier on, that was wrong. I meant ni tetekwe. Now come on obabo temi ama kande ma taking time e ba blast mi fen abuke corner ojogba ade enche once again koni kem ko bibu aka na moji ganja se che no na no ni oba kele ni ona no ni no oba domo ni ke ohio aka wache Nii Yaote Oto jiga jase che koni oye mo ko yeli emiawa more. You understand what I'm saying? Koni ochunu chuma. Now there is a video ni number sakumo eba yue money jase che yele susu momi na ka video enye no mo number sakumo eketete ko ya pale na ba de fe kusumia Nii Yaote Oto ga no le ye susu momi Yaote Oto ga jase che na ka video se fin afine o ba so ba tla fin anye she me to moboni nyem promise we me ta oni wo go through ne ke jase chesanene no ni court yue ye kusumi ni wo che Nii Yaote Oto ga chu e han Nii Adama Latse na me kele take court because of contempt no ba kan ye ni wo botwe o fa ne jani fe mo kiamoko ni o kiamoko ko ye moko ni mo e ke bo gba kada wa ni ke o kele no ko na ebo botwe ke mo eba botwe bona eba botwe ke mo eba botwe. Now let's go on. So now in the High Court of Justice, Ghana, General Jurisdiction Court 4, held in Accra on Wednesday, the 5th day of March, 2025. So last year, Sunday, no, last year, no, ruling, last year, no. Before His Lordship, Justice John Bosco, 2023. So that should tell you like a case start as far back as 2023. Now, in the matter of an application for committal of contempt, pursuant to Order 55 of the High Court Civil Procedure Rules 2004 CI 47, the Republic versus Emmanuel Yaote Tackie Adama, in parentheses, styling himself as Yaote Oto II, legit responded. Now, name Jimeni Amekaneke Sandinete. So once again, because it's a contempt, it's a criminal case, it will be the Republic versus. But name trigger the case in a name kenake Sandinete. Now, ex parte Oname Jame. Ni Dr. Tetekwe II. I'm telling you, Dr. Tetekwe ne Dr. Tetekwe neke lawsuit in na mekete on his behalf eleku. Ya another one ko na kete kuma say le no mi Dr. Tetekwe le won eleku. We are dealing with some dubious people. Dubious people. Ene na Jezi 2020 min ke ba ke Dr. Tetekwe eleku. Meji bete nye nuni ayabache che mina chole make an appeal to Dr. Tetekwe ake we moko yene sane yue e qualify e ba yue ke Dr. Tetekwe ke ba yue ona. Yes, and I'm saying it, but you know what, let's just go on. Mini juno na ke so ke Nii Tetation the 5th legi Kelvin Tackie Senche, and once again ke okwene me, that is where clearly we some of us would disagree with the Supreme Court. This guy has been fighting on behalf of Kevin Tackie the entire time. She as a Supreme Court Kevin Tackie ke elele yankole gbake ba noyale baneke lawsuits ne fe ni watch Nii Tetation e no fe namo benefito e no ken hanamo Kevin Tackie. She now she Supreme Court Kevin Tackie gemini e chugole. That's fine. That is why like I said, what we do not agree with no need Supreme Court because this guy Uncle Tetation has been fighting for Kevin Tackie. Now she Supreme Court like that be a chugole. Anyways, let's go on. Now, ruling on motion on notice for committal for contempt. The applicants brought this motion for an order committing the respondent for contempt on the following grounds. So, okay, Dr. Nii Tetekwe minke wage eleku ke wache Nii Tetation amekete ake hold wache Nii Yaote Oto contempt. Mine wa ameke hold wache Nii Yaote Oto contempt jeje ba ke that the respondent has failed, refused, and or neglected to comply with the ruling and orders of the Traditional Council in suit number GTC/JC5/2009 entitled Nii Tetekwe II and 6 others versus Yaote Oto and 8 others, and suit number GTC/JC6/16 entitled Nii Ajimankese II versus Nii Yaote Oto, hereby bringing the authority and administration of justice of the Traditional Council into disrepute. So, jajanke, nibi na mekeba, kenklen jiake, amekari wache Nii Yaote Oto neke orders ne, ke rule ne eje Traditional Council. One, suit number no in 2009, ni atole ni tetekwe versus 6 orders versus Yaote Oto. Ke another one Nii Ajimankese ke Nii Yaote Oto ni fe your Traditional Council wache Nii Yaote Oto judge ruling allo judgment ni jamieba na kanu ekechuni. You understand what I'm saying? Mini jino ni jamieba ni ekechuni abake wo fen no bana. So I may cite two cases a Traditional Council ni tetekwe versus Nii Yaote Oto ke Nii Ajimankese versus Nii Yaote Oto. Akaneke cases ne fe noko jemi ni na kanu esani wache Nii Yaote Oto ebu noni ayue ni eko ne ekechuni. She wache Nii Yaote Oto ebu ni ekechuni. Let's go on. That the respondent continues to interfere with the functions of the office of the Paramount Stool Jaseche in flagrant breach and or disregard of the ruling and orders of the Traditional Council in suit number JTC J65 2009 entitled Nii Tetekwe the second and 6 orders versus Yaote Oto and 8 orders, and suit number JTC/J6 entitled. So once again, again suit in your name ni I'm a quote all the way from the Traditional Council. I'm in chono kwake na kano to mobeni kebwe ekage Nii Yaote Oto eka fe jaseche eka chu jaseche nuchumo eka fe jaseche kusumi ni Nii Yaote Oto botwe as far back as 2009 again again lawsuit nete ekome 2016 ni fe Nii Yaote Oto ebo na kano to ni yano ni carry itself ake leji jase che ni yano ni chuni ake leji jase che. Let's go on. Number 3, that the respondent continues to hold himself out as Paramount Stool Jase in flagrant breach and or disregard of the ruling and orders of the Traditional Council in suit number JTC/J65/2009. And so the same nonia quote no neke case is in your name. I'm a chono guake ejekpo ejama kebe wache Nii Yaote Oto eka che jaseche neka chu jaseche nuchumo shi wache Nii Yaote Oto ebotwe ni yano ni che jaseche ni chu jaseche nuchumo nwewa mekeleba ni kotwe afine le contempt ake egbotwe ke hamla ni boni nyefenyele ke ogbotwe ke hamla. There are consequences to it. Number 4, that the respondent continuously interferes in the role which otherwise is the preserve of the Paramount Stool Jase che in flagrant breach and or disregard of the ruling and orders. Same thing. I quote in the case is in your name. Nii Tetekwe and 6 orders versus Yaote Oto and 8 orders ke Nii Ajimankese versus Nii Yaote Oto. So they get 2 suits no ake Nii Yaote Oto once again to mobeni yue eyano ni chue ni ake jaseche. Meanwhile the case is in your name na me cite ake la ake eka check jaseche eka che jaseche ne eka chuni ake jaseche nya wayano no one amekele ba. Now, in the affidavit in support of the application for committal for contempt sworn to by the first applicant with the consent of the second applicant, first applicant stated that he is the jaseche of the Paramount Stool and thus the principal kingmaker of the stool, whilst the second applicant is the senche, stool father of the Paramount. Once again, this is something that the Supreme Court should have taken into consideration. This is something that the Supreme Court should have taken into consideration. Biamini last year. Now, meaning number 1, the first applicant elegy wache Nii Tetekwe echono gwake lejiga jaseche ni monefite na mekeneke sanene ba leji senche ke ha gasenye wache Nii Tetekwe eke akeleji jaseche leji principal kingmaker because nicho anke mini ke ebale manche to mie gamanche to mie leji oti bomo oti nichuo neke nuchumo ne. It is the contention of the applicants that an order of interlocutory injunction in suit number JTC/J65/2009 on 9 August 2010 restrained the respondent from holding himself out as the Ganjaseche. Okay. Neke lawsuit in any traditional council in 2009 and 9th August 2010 ake restraining order me Nii Yaote Oto no ake ekache Janseche. They maintain that despite the subsistence of the order of interlocutory injunction, the respondent holding himself as Ganjaseche on 11th June 2011 purportedly installed one Judge Tackie Adama as Gamanche under the name Nii Tackie Adama Latse. Ake 2010 ni akeneke no gone meno ake wache Nii Yaote Oto gan eka ya no ni echuja seche nuchumo still ebotwe ni ete ni efe jazz amame yuemo koi ete no ni efe jazz seche na kan no ni etomoko 11 June 2011 ni achole George Tackie Adama ni sengbe ni akenhaleji Nii Tackie Adama Latse. 2. Again, the applicant said on 8th February 2018, the respondent, in spite of an order of perpetual injunction made against him, continued to hold himself as Ganjaseche. And though the respondent has been aware of the said orders against him and even filed an application to set aside the judgment of 8th February 2018 by the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council Accra, and same was struck out for non-compliance, yet the respondent continued to act in flagrant defiance of the orders of the said Traditional Council. Okay, in 2018, le we nakaino wache Nii Yaote Oto ga yano ni eche ake Jaseche. Meanwhile, ake belong meno ake ekache Jaseche ni file wolo eshi nakaino ni wolu ene file eshi nakaino ga Traditional Council wo ni echafo no amenu shishini ene fe se yano ni eche ake leji gan Jaseche alo echu gan Jaseche nichumo olo. The applicants maintain that the respondent's conduct is willful disobedience of the orders of the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council Accra, which is an affront and interference in the administration of justice and due process of law. Again, what Nii Yaote Oto ga ni yano ni e carry herself ake leji Jaseche olue na kano eche Judicial Committee and your Traditional Council eche ameyi atwa ni mla ni kashi ni as esani ekechuni ekanaka mla chuni no ni efio egbo mla no alo etom mla no. It is therefore the prayer of the applicants that a respondent be committed for contempt. No ni bi ene na me yue fe contempt nlebe ni machele gami. No contempt amo wache Nii Yaote Oto ga akelelen abule fel ake eche mla yin atwa egole na kaji boni ma yuele abu wache Nii Yaote Oto ga fel for abule for ake eche eche mla yin atwa no wa make sani eba. Now miniji noni wache Nii Yaote Oto ga miniji na jiemo ni ekeba ofane jani femo kiamoko ni okiamoko tumobeni nkebwe ke o like go show ami bomade no like yami eke. The respondent opposed the application for contempt. Wache Nii Yaote Oto ga eke dabi no na me UFN ke kpagbe kla. According to the respondent, during the reign of Nii Amugi, the then Jaseche known as Nii Kwekuntri predeceased the then Gamanche Nii Amugi, who died in December 2004. There was therefore the need to first install a Jaseche to replace Nii Kwekuntri so that the Jaseche would organize the burial of the late Nii Amugi II. Okay, biamini Nii Amugi yo Jaseche ni yo actually wache Nii Kwekuntri ni niki wache ne le egbo kenkle kechonye then wache Nii Amugi gbu egbo in 2004. No ewo ake esani afun Jaseche jimoni to efun manche kaji manche chue se ni le Jaseche le ngwegbo be esani ato Jaseche konklo kechonye dan koni le eba tashi ni afe manche na egbo eyala. Now, it is the case of the respondent that the justice tool is one which is ascended to on rotational basis among the 4 royal houses, Amugiwe, Tekochuluwe, Takikomewe, and Abolapiamiwe. Now, so what Nii Yaote Oto ke through a lawyer for a kake, just saying, Shian ye dwani ayo gamancha ye miye, Neke Shian ye dwani no achon, ni ayo, alo agel, ni ayo jasi se unye, Amugiwe, Tekochuluwe, Takikomewe, ke Abolapiamiwe. He said it was the turn of Amugiwe to nominate candidates for the then vacant justice too. So be ane wache Nii Yaote Oto ganchono kwake nekishia ejwane moni no eshe shia no ne eshe ni sanato justice ekejami justice ekejami nji Amugiwe biye. The stool having been vacant and the late Nii Amugi remaining unburied, the respondent stated that he was nominated and selected to ascend the justice stool. Ake Nii Amugi kashieche ni abejase che iwo ni Amugiwe no ni lewu eja Amugiwe atole ake jaseche. Thereafter, as chief mourner, chief mourner, moniji chief mourner ke yalaba, his full name was used on the late Gamanche's funeral program, and he was the funeral coordinator and coordinated all the funeral activities, and no one challenged him. So ake le wacha Nii Yaote Oto ga ni taflache enye keche fole awolegbe Emmanuel Yaate jinoni awole Shimon ni atoleja seche ahale sengbe niji Nii Yaote Oto ga no ewo keji ni Nii Amugi gboe Nii Amugi wojina afe gbe na anwaye miye agma Nii Yaote Oto ga ni twanke jase gbe na atole na kan gbe agma private name aga Emmanuel Yaate ni twanke I recognize ile akele jija seche ni ba femini eba domoshi because e jase sing beji Nii Yaote Oto ga no wakeji Nii Amugi egbo ni wojina fefe ane private name aka Emmanuel Yaate shanga Nii Yaote Oto ga ni twanke I recognize le back then na kan be aminton akele jimini leji jase che ni kui shorte na fe ni amefe Nii Amugi yala le edomona akele domone ke kui ne fe na ake jase che ake ha moko once again agme private name ache ona wolu eko no ba na Emmanuel Yaate yemi she wolu efe no ba na esengbe ake Nii Yaote Oto ga ake jase che no jino ni ona yemi ni twa ake le susumo mie se mo fe mo ehia wo mi ake let it jase che ni eba fu Nii Amugi. Let's go on. Onune yue ejeme wake moko challenge ile ake naka no moko ba ne be ba ka ake dabi je jase chejibo esani ofuon manche because jase che le moni ewu manche le no ke manche gbo le dumoshi ne fun le moko nkro ejese na be ba fun no akaji je jase chejile minu ame challenge minu ona amengbe na te no na tuni no ni jase chechu ke manche gbo mine wa amengmelegbe once again moko challenge ile. Now in his capacity as the Gajasiche, the respondent stated that he removed the traditional wristles or wristbands of the late Nii Amugi prior to his burial in accordance with the customs. Ekonwe akeni leji jasiche afili Nii Amugi gboe leji moni eje ye enindeshishi ake le jasiche before afu Nii Amugi. Now in accordance with customs and traditions and usages of the Gans, and he performed that singular traditional and customary function without any challenge from anybody. I can no fe ni Nii Amugi gbe kusumi na sani if lejase che fe na kan kusumi fe ni moko challenge ile moko bile sani ye moko kele ya court back then na tue na meli ake je le jase che moko eji yin na kele ba ya court ake papa je jase che jibo mi no odumushi ni ofu Nii Amugi mi no ochu kusumi ake jase che moko enye na kan ufane jani fe mo kiamoko ni okiamoko ke obafita wo echeko. Now the respondent also contended that he discharged his other duties as the paramount to jase nyebo abie to ekum. The respondent also contended that he discharged his other duties as the paramount to jase, including leading the vetting/screening process to install a successor to the late Nii Amugi II, being King Tackie Adama Latse II, as the new Gamanche, and formally introduced him to the Gan Traditional Council. Yanakan letter ebie ni wache Nii Yaote Oto Gan. Egma kete Gan Traditional Council bi ami ni kusumi ke no fe no agbena. But be etwe. The respondent also contended that he discharged his other duties. You see, these people including leading the vetting, screening processes to install a successor to the late Nii Amugi II. Ani Nii Yaote, ani Nii Tetekwe, Dr. Nii Tetekwe, ani Dr. Nii Tetekwe vet any candidate for Gamanche. Bio isani yake ani Dr. Nii Tetekwe a vet any candidate for Gamanchelo. Bio isani wache Nii Yaote Oto Gan lefe vetine, including Tackie himself. Tackie himself le di nche le eke ba Nii Yaote Oto Gan na vetile. Tackie aka ha Nii Tetekwe na aba fele vetting. Aka he ba ha Nii Yaote Oto Gan. Nii Yaote Oto Gan fele vetting. No te fiote no koye ha muku na mo vetobu. Se mi e ko ke me akoludu. Oke me akoludu. Keke nyefonye nyeba. Ake nyelele ja se chedon. Ami chomi woloni gan paramount stool jase headed by Nii Yaote Oto Gan. Ni amen makete abola piami ake shame no. Shame ke me yaba response di abola piami bi eke ha me na me ka me gbe wono ke no wana no fe no igme wolo ni wache Nii Tetekwe ani angma ake be shana ba to Gamanche ne wa me ke shia ne she no me ke me aba na veti ni le fe veti ngme ho ngme na kan wolo yo. You will not find a can wolo anyway. Ona ye heko. She noni Nii Yaote Oto Gan tu ake jase che wolo ye inke chombo several times. Now let's go on. He also indicated that there have been 2 subsequent arbitrations, which went in his favor as the Ganjaseche, and that he has not been personally served with any notice of entry of any alleged default judgment. The respondent, therefore, is of the view that the instant application be dismissed. So, what Nii Yaote Oto Gan agbenege ni Jaseche sanene bane afi arbitration yo. Ekomie Gandangbe Council. Gandangbe Council ni nyele no ni wache ni I go to legit president. Nakambia meje legit president. Ame fair arbitration ye me. The same Gandangbe Council no. The same Gandangbe Council. Wache ni I go to. Jane legit ame president. No me legit president. Shimin Kebo can Gandangbe Council ni I go to yo me. Ame fair arbitration. That same Gandangbe Council. Je conclude. Na ame fair Nii Yaote Oto Gan. Jimoni e wini yake le anoni eye jase ake jase che nke na kan welu enwe chombo. Second one na afe Gan Traditional Council bi ama me fe afe ni adote otinto shia sempe manche ni otinto le shia afe no jamele nwe ame agree ake Nii Yaote Oto Gan e ya no ne ye jase no ni abinaka arbitration mi ni numo sakumo ke numo akwa minsa agbeto ke gwanten ni ameke kankita ejeme ake jase chena ameli Nii Yaote Oto Gan na kan arbitration so Nii Yaote Oto Gan ke ne keni bi na fe it's in my favor we wo no ni wonyeme na ke ba awoni achafon. Now, in their supplementary affidavit in support, the applicants denied the allegations by the respondent in his affidavit in opposition, stating that the respondent was only appointed as acting Paramount Stool Jase, and I'm still waiting for them to provide a letter where it is stated explicitly ake neke position and ake watch Nii Yaote Oto Gan ake hale on an acting basis. There is no correspondent to that effect, none whatsoever. Onna wolo kokwa ya mini na kan wolo angma emi ake o act as Jaseche konyo kwana funia mugi kagbe na wa select it, you will not find any document to that effect. None. Keko ye mi nako. Kame ye kwa meke mi makane ye biye. So this was another thing now me concord. You understand what I'm saying? Another thing near me concord ake acti as jaseche. That's not true. Onuko ni numo sakumo ba ake na ake akelebe ake acting. It is not true. It's another lie. Another lie now me perpetrator out there. It's a lie. They lie to everybody. They lie to the court. They lie to everybody. You understand what I'm saying? Now, bio yake kaji no na me yo na kan we ni amuke wojie na afi me no na agma Nii Yaote Oto na agma acting jaseche me no agma ya mi ka wonshi acting jaseche ame male. It's a lie. Now let's go on as acting paramount to Jase on 21st September 2008 and subsequently removed on 30th November, in that this court has jurisdiction to determine who is or who is not the Jaseche of the paramountcy, but to determine whether or not the respondent has willfully and intentionally usurped the judicial power of the court and thereby brought the administration of justice into disrepute, utter disregard, and derision by his conduct. So once again, Jage fele fanke intabie ni ma chomo ni jaseche aloje mo ni jaseche shi intabie ni ma kwe ake ani ne kenu chumo ine fe na me ke Nii Yaote Oto ge chue ani na ke no etomla alo ani na ke no echemla yin ato alo ni no ewo esani apanishi le lo. You understand? And the jele jaseche no anu chumo na chue fe echemla yin ato so jeje ke one mba bia ni ma chonye mo ni shimon ani makwake ani nuchumo ene na meke Nii Yaote Oto ga echu ake jaseche ani na ke no echiom la yin. Look, law is very technical. Obabio yake judge say mini juno na me you sane na mini na kanjibo ni mla yo nle ake minkebue obadna mi ni konklo ye mi, but when it comes to the law it's different. So na kanjibo ni yo mi. Now shout out to you Uncle Johnny. Manvik ofane to yo te afiache kwashi na bibo ba impa ofane bebo hu oye ojogba. Now let's go on. Jeje babu inwe mu agbene botwe. Again, it is well established that any conduct which tends to bring the authority and administration of the law into disrepute or to interfere with any pending litigation is contempt of court. So jeje nchono kwake ekashi fan ake keji moko fe no ko biamini ekole sane ye court sane ko ni aye ye court ni esani mo fio na kan no keji efe anyo akale yo akebe eche kotu ni eche mlaye atwa. The Black's Law Dictionary 9th edition defines contempt as conduct that defies the authority or dignity of a court or legislature. Because such conduct interferes with the administration of justice, it is punishable usually by fine or imprisonment. So Black's Law Dictionary it define contempt ake no konike ofe once again ni echio institution ko yin atwa alo echio mla yin atwa ni nakano ke je atwa peshike eche mla yin atwa hani mla bu fio basa no nakano ke ofe nakanye oche court to yin atwa oche court to yin atwa ni no contempt ni once again boli ene when you blofogan when you blofogan actually ganglish actually ganglish actually bini ganglish over the Johnny Femo Kiamugo whilst we continue with our ganglish. Now, in Republic versus Boateng and Oduro ex parte, Ajenim Boateng 2009, Supreme Court Ghana Law Review 154, the Supreme Court defined contempt of the court to be that. So Supreme Court, our Black's Law Dictionary, a definition of contempt. Ghana Supreme Court, leun eba define boni in our contempt. A person commits contempt and may be committed to prison for willfully disobeying an order of court requiring him to do any act other than the payment of money or abstain from doing same act, and the order sought to be enforced should be unambiguous and must be clearly understood by the parties concerned. The reason is that a court will only punish as contempt a willful breach of a clear-cut order requiring obedience to its performance. Therefore, disobedience which is found not to be willful cannot be punished. So, Ghana Supreme Court, I'm a definition of contempt, a broadening layout. Once again, ke oche onye kai ameke here come on fitai. Ake ke onye kai ni oche court to here atwa noko ne akọ cafe noko mlako ne sa no fio belo ko na ke phone ake cafe ne ni onye kai ni oche na kan no here atwa no elebe o commit contempt. Shimo keji amebote saniemi abote saniem na nake na kan no ofie onye kai no elebe sa ni apanish yobo. No Junoni Supreme Court be a kafita Black's Law Dictionary and I can expand it. Only FA farm. Similar decisions of the Supreme Court had earlier been pronounced in cases such as 1, the Republic versus Minsambunsu and others, ex parte, Attorney General 2, Opoku versus Libre France, SAS 2012. Once again, 1 Supreme Court Ghana Law Review 159. The basic elements or inquiries that an applicant has to establish against an alleged contempt law, contempt law, money a commit or contempt law, have been well laid in Republic versus Sito 1, ex parte, for 2001 to 2002, Supreme Court Ghana Law Review 322, where the Supreme Court stated that there must be a judgment or order requiring the contempt law to do or abstain from doing something. So Supreme Court has said, once again, ake kenkle sani order ko aba ake mene afala ake nekenokwe efe alo nekenokwe ekafe. Now, number 2, it must be shown that the contempt law knows what precisely is expected to do or abstain from doing. Agbenenwe neke ashimashine ne kola ba ke kafe neke alo efe neke esani asho clearly ake ele ake ni enu shishnyake neke nokwe kote ke femo alo onyeni ofe. Number 3, it must be shown that he or she failed to comply with the terms of the judgment or order and that his or her disobedience was willful. Agbenenwe sani anyeni achoake leleng eche kote yin eche nona ke cafe alo efe eche na kai no yin atwa ni no eyin kai ebu na kai no na eyin kai ni ebu na kai no. Now, the respondent has denied that he has willfully disobeyed an interlocutory injunction, Exhibit NDKT, that was granted on 9th August 2010, 14 years ago. Questioned what had become of the substantive matter. So, what Nii Yaote Oto gang, so jeje you ake, what Nii Yaote Oto gang ke, keji ameke a ordale, alo ake order ejegan traditional council, ake eka che nibi eka che ganja secha, alo eka chung ganja secha nuchumo, le nakaino ele ni eyi kankoi ni echeko nakaino yi atwa, ni esumo ni abi meni kesani eba ke ni amekesani eba nakaino te agbenate nakaino te agbenate sani na amekeba ninu ewo ameke ake odagme Nii Yaote Oto gano ake ekache jaseche ne kachu jaseche nuchumo nakansani te agbenate inge actually ganglish that's why ganglish when you get ganglish here the respondent also denied having been served with any default judgment in suit number GTC/JC6/16 entitled Nii Ajimankese II versus Nii Yaote Oto, Exhibit NDKT1 into parentheses here. And most of the things this surround or nekes ingbabu ke oba join we check off and call 10 videos obana I did a show just on neke 2009 to 2010 order ne. I have a whole show on it. In cable, all the behind the scenes stories. I took my time. I explained everything. So if you want to see that show, cock 10 videos me obana yeah, Jimmy. Now, having denied the allegations against him, the burden is on the applicants to prove beyond reasonable doubt, once again, because in a contempt in a criminal case, so the standard there is beyond reasonable doubt. Bona, KG civil case, it will be on the preponderance of the evidence, beyond reasonable doubt that indeed the respondent willfully breached those orders in exhibits NDKT and NDKT1. This is because an application for contempt is a quasi-criminal relief that is being sought, and by Section 13(1) of the Evidence Act 1975 and RCD 323, it provides that. So, jajeke, kaji wache Nii Yaote Oto kene bi nefe eleko lawsuit ko na keba eleko ni ajiman kese no eleko no na meke ake ode egme no 2010 abia ke na kesani eti agbe na te be bia ne amemeni amekesani e ba e kan me no ake ameji meni esani ame prove beyond reasonable doubt ake lele wache Nii Yaote Oto ga eyi e kai ni noni efio bona so akoti noni ewoni mlayo na kan. In any civil or criminal action, the burden of persuasion has to be commissioned by a party of a crime which is directly in issue, requires proof beyond reasonable doubt. So once again, because it's a criminal case, noni akeba proof, it must be noji standard proof beyond reasonable doubt. It is the submission of counsel for the respondent that the order allegedly given by the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council as contained in Exhibit NDKT, if it was obtained by a motion ex parte, cannot go beyond 10 days. So, what Nii Yaote Oto gan chono kwake be lawyer you ake. Now, keji ameke odako, and lele I think there was something to that. Yeah, I know me it stated something in there. I'll look for it again in Kabachombo. Keji lele ameke odako eje gan Traditional Council ni a restrain Nii Yaote Oto gan from holding himself or carrying himself as the Ganjase chair. Nakano, it cannot go beyond 10 days. Now, fast forward, ameke sanenete 14 years later. Ameke saneneba 14 years later. You understand what I'm saying? So, no junoni council in way biake nakan order at all if they obtained it. Kejiga Traditional Council can order bar. It is only limited to 10 days. It cannot go beyond 10 days. Okay, so let's go on. Yes, actually, I quote people and BNA Jinoni nakan know yo. And upon hearing Nii Tetekwe the second for and on behalf of the joint applicants hearing, it is hereby ordered that the first defendant, Yaote Oto, aka Emmanuel Yaote Tackie Yaboy, is restrained from holding himself out as the Ganjase. Nii Yaote Oto lawyer and chono kwake. If indeed this order, which we all know, I have that order here. Like I said, in Kechonbuna, it cannot go beyond 10 days. Mind you, 14 years later, it cannot go. That is what the lawyer is saying. It cannot go more than 10 days, beyond 10 days. 14 years later. Now, learned counsel further stated that Exhibit NDKT1, which was a judgment in default of defense, was also not served on the respondent for the respondent to know exactly what is being restrained from doing. The second one, Nii Ajimankese versus Nii Yaote Oto gan nakano chono kwake nakan default judgment ni ahele nwe aserve Nii Yaote Oto gan ne ba na ke o I default judgment against it ni e ba ya ne ba ye no ake o mfe ne alone cafe ne so no nwe ele. Now, he said a copy of proof of service of the default judgment could have been obtained, could have been exhibited to prove this situation. Okay, kaji lele ake ameba serve Nii Yaote Oto gan neke default judgment ne be I may provide proof of service koni amena. He then concluded by referring to the respondent's Exhibit 6, which I believe is a misnomer. Since Exhibit YOG6 is a letter talking about admission of Tackie Adama Latse II into the Traditional Council as president, but not on any arbitration. So once again, it was a misidentification. The exhibit learned counsel for the respondent may be referring to is Exhibit YOG8, which is a report on the arbitration by the Gandangbe Council on the issue of GAN, Royal State Justice, which council said it remained unchallenged before the 2016 case, which purportedly resulted in the default judgment. Once again, so what Nii Yaote Oto lawyer and Chono Kwake, judge Chono Kwake, like misidentify Nakano, it should have been YOGH instead of YOG6 Boni Echon. Ninue Chono Kwake keji ona naka arbitration any Gandangbe Council. Intimie kon get Gandangbe Council and only Sunday now. You are J. Concloy. The same Gandangbe Council and you watch any I quote to legit president to be an I can be a mere J legit president. She is the same Gandangbe Council and no Sunday you are J Gandangbe Council conclude. Nakano ni aye watch any Nii Yaote Oto ake eyano ni eye jase che nakano a challenge you. Once again, you know ake there is the law provides room for arbitration. You know that only nakai all over the world. You know. Now, and of course, keji at the arbitration, ninoni ejepoemie osumo, you can take it back to the court and challenge it. You understand what I'm saying? But as of now, even kabata biani ngabo you are put in chair. Nakano ame challenge you. Kabata biani. Now, it must be observed that by order 50 rule 14, which is subject to sub rule 5 of CI 47, proceedings in an application for contempt cannot commence until the court satisfies itself that the respondent to the application has been served personally or the person knew or might have known of the order of the court, especially if the person was present when the order was made. So, Judge and Chono Kwake, neke rule ne chene Chono Kwake before ni akamoko baba ni abaje saneko shishikura ke akalaye ye contempt be fangbe be esani achonke lele neke money akale bane eliake akenoko engmeno. There is an order from the court, a local ruling, whatever it is, mo ye aware akelele akelake neke kafe kaya bie kachonbie ni mo ehe abomi ni mo ya aware ni mo echeno atwa dani na kan sande abanye na afa emini aye ye court for contempt ni owner holding there no na e be see Adson versus Adson 1962 excuse me 3 OER 1056 number 2 Republic versus Moffat ex parte Alote 1971 number 2 Ghana Law Review 391. It is to be noted that there is no copy of an application exhibited by the applicants from the Traditional Council upon which exhibit NDKT was obtained. Once again, achono judge and chono kwake ena anoko ni chwanke nege exhibit neni amechon ameyuo aka serve ne amekeha. This is necessary since service of exhibit NDKT is being disputed by the respondent as well as doubts raised concerning how the said exhibit NDKT was obtained. So judge and chono kwake no na keba ena anoko yemi ni chonaka because nakano banya because amega me serve Nii Yaote Oto unke nakano ele so benona me chon ni ame obtain na kan order jege as of BNNA can there is no copy of an application na application na me feni ameke nana kan no ona boni ni yo. Now, as regards exhibit NDKT1 in respect of suit number GTC/JC6/16, there was notice of entry of appearance to the said suit by the lawyer for the respondent, Bright Akwete, and there was even a notice to raise preliminary legal objection filed on 3rd October 2017 to object the jurisdiction of the Traditional Council, the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council to hear the case. And this is right. Once again, there one like a 2010 or I can show him, I can get no trouble. Biamini amete jame no me lawyer Bright Akwete legimony represent or what Nii Yaote Oto a challenge what do you call it? Meaning where I'm a challenge the capacity of the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council to sit on that particular case. You understand what I'm saying? Their capacity was challenged. But so no judge and chono kwake well ekwanrebe what Nii Yaote Oto ganye kake but that particular case ele because a lawyer challenge and yes ko kwana kan no mi oba na kan wolu un chombo lawyer Bright Akwete bolone filing can challenge the capacity of the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council like am bata na kan case ko no nke no chombo After the motion for judgment in default of notice was granted, Exhibit NDKT1, the respondent, through his lawyer, filed a notice to set aside the default judgment before the Judicial Committee of the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs. So, I chono kwake neke default judgment ne ni chairman na wacha ni de ko na the lawyer Bright Akwete a file kete Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs ni asset no aside. So once again, you cannot say you are unaware. Now, there is however no indication as to the outcome of the notice to set aside the default judgment given on the 4th day of October 2017. Like I said, I'm sure I get so far I get the Regional House of Chiefs say Boni Sani Tele and Joe Boni Tele and Joe ne tashine ena noko ake aye sani jo aye njo ena. Now, this it is clear that Exhibit NDKT1 was duly served on the respondent. Otherwise, there would not have been an attempt by the respondent through his lawyer to set aside the said default judgment. It therefore does not lie in the mouth of the respondent to say that it was never served with Exhibit NDKT1. So to mobile blame choba ke what Nii Yaote Oto gadabi enye ka ke asevile because ka asevi kobue if you are no lawyer a file or ni asset aside na kaino ona boni ni yo so keji wache Nii Yaote Oto ga ke asevi kole no ekechuni ke overfita wo ebi anem bomode ni ojani femo ke amuko ni oke amuko bagbina no we page 11 or 15 will be done soon. It can be that as it may, the applicants maintain that though an order of perpetual injunction was granted against the respondent in the ruling of the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council in seal number GTC/JC6/16 dated 8th February 2018, the respondent continued to hold himself as the Ganjaseche. So I mean, you know, making judgment in any Judicial Committee, a Traditional Council like a fair and say, what Nii Yaote Oto ga yano ni echei jaseche ulum. It appears that the applicants, botwe, bononi jeje you atwe, bononi jeje, bobi atwe go. It appears that the applicants did not have any issues with the acts or conduct of the respondent from 2006 until they filed suit number GTC/JC6/16 before the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council, which gave its ruling on 4th October 2018. So, clearly, I can tell, 2006, 2018, what Nii Yaote Oto ga yano ne chweni ni nyetemo kwe yue noko nye na agbako kula ye kebata 2018 but na ga me fe ku 2017 ku ame jeshi 2017 you know bona so clearly kabonoko keja 2006 ni what Nii Yaote Oto ga etajalami ake jaseche ni echu kusumi na sana echu ni akefun what Nii amugi ukeba nwe jejeke no nye na sane kokwa ye nye na problem kokwa be no ni wache Nii Yaote Oto ga na gba kokwa be ka bata 2018 then nye na ke all this while eche jaseche na echu jaseche nuchumo. Let's go on. The applicants especially based the misconduct of the respondent on exhibits NDKT3 series, which may be termed press releases by the office of the government at the time. Those signed by the respondent, these press releases appear to have taken place in 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, respectively. Okay, exhibits ni amekaba press releases ni the office of the government. Ni wache Nii Yaote Oto ga sign shishi ake jaseche ni neke press releases ne 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. If that is the case, a portion of an earlier ruling by the High Court presided over by Her Lordship, Novisi Efua Ayeni, Mrs. Justice of the High Court, attached to the applicant's supplementary affidavit in support and marked exhibit NDKT, which was certified on 20th April 2018, reads in part as follows. Now, makane noni wacha novisi yue, alo wanye novisi yue, ni judge ne e akọ, ni ekewo, and this is what sealed the case. Now, miniji novisi sanye, in novisi judgment time we be, judge novisi biamini wache Nii Yaote Oto gan, Nii Yaote Oto gan, biamini wache Nii dodu saki, niji otublo manche. Shout out to Numo Tetaje, Shata Drake, Numo Miniano, Pawili over the boy Ojuba, Atokan Ebatrashi. Now, Nii dodu saki. Ato gamanche, kato gamanche pe bo o acti because I beg gamanche. Well, yaga to gamanche pe technically I mean as an ofi, but acting gamanche ya traditional council is an ocean. Now, bona allow acting gamanche po acting president. Nya nima fi ale clear because ke gamanche be well yaga be say manche yo. She of course keji ashe traditional council for administrative purposes say well I think I'm a dealer with seniority. You understand what I'm saying? Seniority. I remember a letter ni wachenya mugingma biamini e fanke Nii Adoto Buo act as president of the traditional council. He talked about seniority. Yeah, na can letter me. So Jeme Boli because administrative nibi atun Jeme war. But I think they go with seniority. But when I get manche beg bese manche. So I can need to do saki ni le eche Jeme femo le act as the president of the traditional council. J Gamanche. He was acting as the president of the traditional council. Now, Ato Gamanche, technically, bo acting president is an no femini, is an no teno, ni Gamanche, eba tano, ni eba ye a president as president of the traditional council. She ni do saki. Nyelele, no me dane kesha I will pray for you. May you never encounter a need to do saki in your life. He's a very bad man. Naga papale, a very bad man. Very, very bad man. Top three people now make dragon AME. Top 3 people ni ame dragon ni dodun saki AME. He's a very bad man. Ni dodun saki ebe. Ni Nii Yaote Oto be take a rightful place as the president of the traditional council. So what Nii Yaote Oto Latse ke ni dodun saki ke traditional council Nii Yaote Oto Latse ke ni dodun saki ke traditional council ka me take court a file mandamus in Kenya ke mandamus say kokwemi o fine info onu pa ni shi ko onu shishi ngla me severally mandamus page ake ke mla mfam ko ake bo mla fa bo ake neke nu chumo na bo asa na ofe ni mo efe o ba file no ni achole ye mla bu mi ake mandamus kaji moko ye that administrative authority ne sa ne perform duty ko ne perform ye o ba file mandamus ko ni afamo ni etuna kan no ji mandamus now so Nii Yaote Oto Latse file mandamus shout out to ato kan npa ko ni ko te aforce wache ni dodu saki ni minka novisi case ne mbabi ko no onu shishi odogba any judge ne ya woneke judgment ya woneke portion ne ni wo ba kan ne ke je ko no nu case shishi odogba and if need be I will read that entire novisi case unkin abo ko ni ona no nchon. So Nii Yaote Oto Latse ya file against the traditional council ni dodu saki and the traditional council ko ni court afan ko ni dodu saki vacate seat when Nii Yaote Oto Latse take a rightful place as the president of the traditional council. Now, of course, naken sani about way. You know what is interesting? Last year in kanin shebie in get okwe ka nukwale yose. Now, no ni makanema abone ye be a portion ni judge ne ye contempt and ne wo ye mi. Naken novisi judgment Aye against Nii Yaote Latse, he lost. Nii Yaote Latse, he lost. So case ni eluzu yemi. No ni aya wo eko yemi ni akaba Nii Yaote Oto akaba yekuni yebiye. Ona boni anu kwale chwoni. Na can case ni Nii Yaote Latse kete against Nii Dodu say traditional council. Novisi case he lost. Me novisi ke. First of all, keji moko yene sane chuno go to morning kobe statutory body. Alo moko ni is legally bound by law. Ne sane fe no ko ne fe. First of all, it's an obi mo ake mo afi. Ni mo keke mo fe one on a case. Nii Yaote Latse was unable to prove ake le personally a bit Nii Dodu Saki. Alo, you understand what he made the request for Nii Dodu Saki to vacate the seat. Number one, no ni Nii Yaote Latse ke chonji ake Nii Yaote Oto gangma wolo to that effect. Ni jeje ke dabi ni Nii Yaote Latse ke sani ba le personally engma wolo ni e ba request ake Nii Dodu Saki advocate seat. Number two, ake nakeno oye 6 months keji moko esane efe no ko ni mo efe oye 6 months ni esani o file mandamus and of course time ni Nii Yaote Latse ba file neke mandamus ne 6 months elapse bona. Number two, second reason woni Nii Yaote Latse lose na mandamus case. Number three, Judge Novisi ke ne kwani bi ame na ke gamanche sane enwe still regional house of chiefs no wo keji efa ni ake Nii Yaote Latse atasen no be decide case Klajino. Meanwhile, sane regional house of chiefs na ye no enye fa because ke fe na kan de get Nii Yaote Latse atasen no be bele decide ni ebe na kan wale na ba decide mo ni gamanche. You see the three reasons. Once again, you hear people saying okay ni ekesanete I court ni novisi wole chafun. They will not tell you why ni novisi wole chafun. Because I'm a sumo no lianu kwale. They will not tell you why. No ni ewoni novisi na kansani aye against Nii Yaote Latse. No you explaining chomboe. So Nii Yaote Latse lost. Anytime no ba no na get ni ekete novisi inu wanye novisi wole chafun. Ame chombo no newo. One, mlaji yake kaji noko ne sani moko afi ni mo efe esani onwa wolo kia mo no request ake mo efe Nii Yaote Latse ngma wolo ne ba request ake Nii Dodu Saki afi. Number two, oye 6 months from the time na sana afi na kai noko ni mo afi habo Nii Yaote Latse me after 6 months then they get sani ba court. Number three, sani a regional house of chiefs. So judge ke in favor of Nii Yaote Latse be decide gamanche sani ni le e be na capacity ne ba decide na gamanche sani. Three. These are the three reasons. So call na ni mo konwe ni novisi wole chafu. No. Yes. Yes. Probably no. Maybe I should say this. Ni neke sanene ne ehani yes probably no ni ne ehani ni otinto minfun eke Nii Yaote Latse keke Dodu Saki na tefi oten ni assure assure the entire Grand Traditional Council ni otinto minfun. It is this same case. Novisi case no ni otinto minfun ake ni once again blame Nii Otinto because he is speaking as a layman. It will be a legal malpractice. Keji Nii Yaote Latse lawyer ke traditional council fatai. It will be a legal malpractice. But once again, Nii Otinto is not a lawyer. But if this were to happen, ni have a conversation. Even me not being a lawyer, but me in follow legal issues, I'll be able to explain to him why ni a saniak traditional council agbi. Nii Dodu Saki a president ye traditional council. That is the authority. Nii Dodu Saki jeme authority and jeme. You cannot sue the person actually authority. It derive on you cannot. It will be legal malpractice. The traditional council fit high. But once again, Nii Yaote Oto, like I said, he's not a lawyer. But kept many Magblam machonle. Magblam machole lenu shishi. No ne woni esa. Ake Nii Adama Latse as you can traditional council. Bona, let's go on. So let's go back in blood novice case me chombo kenoniba. Our kwa noni judge ne e woyemi ne ke you both way. Some very very profound both way. Eke ene so ene eja committee eja novice case me, and that the committee accordingly struck out all cases pertaining to the dispute to make way for the amicable settlement of the dispute. It is instructive to note that these depositions was not disputed or challenged by the defendants/applicants hearing. In my respectful opinion, with the dismissal of the dispute by the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council and the resolution of the dispute as per exhibits Yaote 2 and Yaote 3, the injunctive order was no longer operational. The objections by the defendants are overruled. So, Neke Novice case in the Traditional Council, and once again, the people were saying, okay, I'm bringing the fact that Nii Yaote Oto Nii Adama Latse, there was an order on him not to do that. They brought it in the novice case. Show no ni judge novice ke dabi na kan order because atashi ni ayue na ba chon ni no shi na tai ba chon fin na atashi na ayue ke ni bi wo na kan order ke ni bi fin bola ni e be wale don e wale egbo because Gandangbe council etano ameyue gan traditional council e no efi arbitration na ameyue so ne ke order ne e be wale don na kan order egbo. Let's go on. The portion of the ruling quoted above may have been in relation to suit number GJ/619/17 filed in the High Court jurisdiction, General Jurisdiction, Accra on 13th November 2016, entitled Nii Yaote Oto the second versus Nii Dodun Saki, the third, and Dr. Nii Tackie Adama the second, Nii Dr. Tetekwe, and marked exhibit NDK2 series and attached to the applicant's affidavit in support of the application for contempt. It is interesting to note that exhibit NDK21 series and the portion of the ruling of the High Court and attached seem to favor the respondent. And these were all exhibited by the applicants. Look, Niki sanene mo ni ameke bana me kotwe mo ne kwami mo clearly na kan mo no mo yue han Nii Yaote Oto gamo na kan no mo yue han Nii Yaote Oto ga amena me sania bana me kotie ne ni ya me susu mo mi ene ba wa me sania mo no ne ene mo na me fita e mo yue mo e support Nii Yaote Oto ga case here. Let's go on. The applicants contended that the respondent was deposed as acting Gapaman's 2 Jase on the 30th day of November 2010 by a statutory declaration, and the first applicant reinstalled as the Gastu Jase on 1st May 2012. I do not intend to go into the intricacies of the removal or the appointment of the Ganjase, since this is not within the jurisdiction of this court. Having said that, it is to be noted that on Saturday the 14th and 21st March 2015, an arbitration committee held that the respondent is the rightful Jaseche of the Gapaman's 2. So once again, the same arbitration, any arbitration 2015. I do not intend to go into the intricacies of the removal or the appointment of a Gajaseche, since this is not within the jurisdiction of this court. Having said that, it is to be noted that on Saturday, the 14th and 21st March 2015, an arbitration committee held that the respondent, in this case, Nii Yaote Oto, is the rightful Jaseche of the Gapaman's 2. Let's go on. The subsequent High Court ruling referred to Supra Nichi Novice no ne kote, put the matter to rest when it held that the injunctive order was no longer operational. So once again, JJF clear. Okay, onyo babie ni oba koti order ko. Meanwhile, this same traditional council FA arbitration. Ni naka arbitration a go in favor of the respondent. A go in favor of Nii Yaote Oto. You cannot come and say, okay, that order ni oba will refer to it should still stand. The order ni traditional council no, the same traditional council for arbitration. Ni ame ruling no conclude oba o you ake akona kan order na ka tuni na kan order I call sani you know the same sani ni traditional council ame arbitrate you know na kan order the same sani you know ni. So novisi e ka me to ake na kan orders ni fe ni nye cho ni nye you fe na kan no fe na kan order egbo because nye di enche nye fe arbitration ni nye he abo mi ake Nii Yaote Oto gan le jija se che. So can you fear arbitration in ya wo miaka Nii Yaote Oto kan jase je. If you're telling you bad in ya order nature chuchu order 2010 ton in ya ba age sani order amololo. If you're there. Let's go on. That being the case, and the said order of the High Court not set aside by a higher court, any subsequent act or conduct by the respondent from my point of view cannot be an act of contempt. So jajeke any kanakanie be keji court a higher court ko e franco ake noni afene awa chafon many twake ai the arbitration awa chafon na ke kachuni be noele be onyo ke mi ake Nii Yaote Oto gan nuchumo na echuo ake jaseche na ke no eche court yin atoa onyo ke mi na ke because nye fair arbitration ninye ya wo miake le gija seche te fio te ninye no nyeke nyefo nyeba ake enu ano na eche ja seche olo na echu ni no eche court yin to onyo ke na kai. There is no gainsaying the fact that contempt of court being a serious crime, serious issue, the punishment or any other punishment as prescribed by law undermining the administration of justice must not be used capriciously. The Supreme Court in Republic versus High Court, Fast Track Division, Accra, Ex parte, PPE Limited, and Paul Juric, Unique Trust Financial Services Limited, Interested Party, 2007-2008, Supreme Court Ghana Law Review 188, stated that the courts should be anxious to contain the power to punish for contempt, which is said to be wide and arbitrary, and should be done within the narrowest possible confines in order to safeguard the fundamental constitutional right of the individual to liberty. In such applications, which would derive the liberty of an individual, actual but not imputed, notice of the specific terms of orders must be proved. Republic versus Beku and others, ex parte, Ajay, there you have in 15. Cleveland, okay. In the circumstances of the instant action, I find that the respondent, Botwe, 15th page, Botwe. So mind you, okay. Jaja come ake nye fair arbitration ni nye here wo mi ake Nii Yaote Oto ga nye kunyese ni nye ba ka ake esani contempt amole ni eche court to yin atan te fi odan nye fair arbitration ni nye fair nye yo awo mi ake ni ka arbitration ni na refer no na traditional council no free ye ni simple mancheshi an no te fi odan ni nye fair arbitration ni nye yo awo mi ake ashimashine leji jaseche nke ya no na carry yourself as jaseche nyeba nye ka agashi eche court to yin atoa eche mla yin atoa te fi ote nye badakan. Now so jeje chanu go again in the circumstances of the instant action, I find that the respondent never engaged in any conduct that constituted a breach of the orders of the Judicial Committee of the Greater Accra Traditional Council, especially when the High Court in suit number GJ/1619/17 delivered a ruling on 17th April 2018 to the effect that no injunction order was operational any longer. No, because nege rule ni je 17th April 2018 efele fan akenege orders na efe na kan no fe it is no longer in effect anya aketuni ndon because after arbitration in 2015. So how do you then come back in 2018 saying okay no ni mo efe fe esani eketuni? Now, having regard to the fact that the dispute was dismissed by the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council following the resolution of the said dispute between the two parties, and of course, excuse me, you know, okay, now fair arbitration pay, guess I can send you a beggar don. Anya fair arbitration, near Baba conclusion. Ni say me me fair arbitration no come tell me for me e ga ma ka ke na kan no make a tune in do dabi you have to take it to court. Ni court that striking again no out. Onye bole nchoko iwale. So je ke nye fo nye ba yue no nye yuo. Ne wa minna kula ke Nii Yaote Oto ga. Ne cho ake le jase cheni. Ke nuchumo ne chun ake le jiga jase che. Inna totomo kokula ye. Na ke je ke. Ege wache Nii Yaote Oto ga. Ni cho ake le jiga jase che. Ke nuchumo ne chun ake le jiga jase che. Inna totomo kokula ye. Ninu ewo esani emoleke contempt. Therefore, I hold that the applicants failed to meet the evidential burden placed on them to satisfy the standard of proof required, which is proof beyond reasonable doubt. This means that the application for committal for contempt fails, and it is hereby dismissed. You understand? You understand? So I watch out. So kama ko bibu ake na mo jiga jase che based on nothing kan ya boy. Me you know wa ke. Kama ko bibu ake na mo jiga jase che based on nothing kan ya boy. Ni ya boy some of the background story e come fe any me you know wa ke. And I'm telling you, I get Dr. Tetekwe bete, Dr. Tetekwe elego. Kwe, kona onana me posti Dr. Tetekwe plashon. Dabi, Tetekwe lenego, Tetekwe na me get bete, yeah. The whistle, no ncho. Tetekwe na me get bete, elego. Shiboli, wenye me jame, wenye wana wa me mon. Elego. Bona. Yeah, so once again, kaji mogo bibu ake. Oh, okay. The whistle answer. Oh, yes, the whistle answer. Kamogo bibu ake no moji gajase che. There you have it. The whistle answer. Konani, onani. Yes, thank you. The whistle. Ina. Konani. I'm posting Dr. Tetekwe plashon. I'm telling you. Yeah, you heard me. I'm posting page say no. I'm posting Dr. Tetekwe. I'm plashon. Kemo plashon. Get plashon. There is another case. Ni leun amekete. Kumase leun Nii Adama Latse. A word Dr. Tetekwe chaff. No Dr. Tetekwe le ko na mekete jeme na yame se mi ameba na I find yame na me pay. Now find yame na me pay. There is you alonga you. There is iwe cause in yana kan welu ehun ye. Dabi ole because of Dr. Tetekwe one you. Because Dr. Tetekwe mi mbuole Dr. Tetekwe wa. So because of Dr. Tetekwe wo inwe no ni wo na jiame no ni te no between Kelvin Tackie and Dr. Tetekwe conversation no ni te ga yue mo na yue because of Dr. Tetekwe wo inwe because Dr. Tetekwe is a good man. A boy. A tuni is one of those people now make carry the flag of Gandangwe high. Bona. So because of Dr. Tetekwe wo inwe keka I will spill the beans. But I have a lot of respect for Dr. Tetekwe, so I'm not going to say it. Bona. I'm not gonna say it. But so let me get Abakpano. If you want to say something, as usual, text him on high to the number. Connie if you want to say something, like I said, text him on high to Boli. One number keke inkabo eba pano. BNL Akuche, you are done. This is the temple of truth. We only speak the truth. No peji noni wa you ye be bona. So whilst I bring my brothers on, yes, thank you. Akuche, oba trashi. I want way Akuche.
Well,
Yay.
Menele nka farm nka ujeni farm so
menele
mukonye patami
inanagai
yake kefa fa ke ye mugo patale leche ke ye awon leche ijo.
That's right. Menele nanagai yeah.
Ofane ami be fi o ni wie mono ba yue hu e wo me brofo e o karele pi wokolo po ni yo mi e because ke o che po e wona na gbe ni dete ami be fi o nye me ba pa na ya ba che mi nga mo fia mo ni nkwa wo mene oba ba me ka wo bu mo ba kama ka wa to ma ka shi mi masuma ke ma wa yu anu kwale no ka ke mbu mo dan mama le no ba ke mene bu omo ni lete beni wo tetekwe ni akeja se cheni ni apakole no ni apakole be no mo sakumo eye o dasi ake apako tetekwe lenje ba yue o fa ne beni wo tetekwe eyi oja se no mi ani amugi gbokolo
and it, because we could have the exact no me ni amugi egbo.
Thank you very much.
No me ni amugi egbo.
Okay. Yes,
that's right.
Beni ni amugi egbele mi fe money amekabake leji tetekwe ni leji gaja seche. Ni tete
yeah.
Kedi ni amugi egbo ni we gaja seche na chole ni tetekwe ni ake afe kusu nke ale ni gamanche ni ji ni amugi egbo e namo ji mo ni domoshi ni arrange ni amugi yala because ye gakusu na kaji gamanche gbo e ja seche ji mo ni domoshi ni tetekwe eye ja si e ni amugi egbo kuma nyoji abo days weeks ni tetekwe ne eye ja se wonu kwa gashi e afa make people here ni amugi yala yi okay fine wele nani ba ni akpa wo tetekwe ni numo se no ba yo da se ake ni teno ke no tede achele efo ma da lente e wo bi ni wole no ame no na me ke tolo ba ake simini akpa wo tetekwe
yeah ame pale
okay good ni dete ni ate ni otintoje ni aye ja sesade nakajeme no me inle agashi awo ni otoga alo ni ametemi tie ameyu agashi bia na ja sese na abeklaba ba na dibo na klaba tuni
no me awolomo
abi awolomo na da to mo ni ti okay ewo be ni ate ni adote otintoje be no fear no Nintendo, I'm a family going to get mini. Awo Nii Yaote Oto aka jasiche. I get mini. Ake need the kwe elo ba ake akpale.
That's right.
When numo sakumo wi ake si le ekeke akpago tete kwe e be no ko le ba fe lele amikpale na mekele ba dani numo sakumo edomoshi.
Like
Ni
pepe.
awo wache otoga. Ate akakita. Ni adot no ni ma I don't care because inu mo ke ese ma fe ife.
Biane ke bo fine so bo na twi.
No. E ga me fine, me ga fine. She ka ese no ko ni am here. Inja ba jele mi ko kan jele be if ani here. Be inja ma gbe sadi na. Be e better can you kra. Right. Ni ate ni otinto je policy ni. Ni otinto shia je Grata Council. Ni otinto shia ke abawo gamanche ni otinto shia be no go febo ye gamanche yeli mi. Ke abawo jase ni otinto a private house it has nothing to do with jase kasa le ekopo bana ba ye je ni otinto shia sana na ye na kasa ni ye. Yo money bari you in papa iche imanche e cause damage a go. Mene mi tabaka ya gachi e betray Adama Latse pe si e betray ni tata ko big time. Mene mi tabaka enye ka e small e kanaka ni agboke ya I don't care.
Ocho no ga e betray Nii Yaote Oto ga.
E betray ni ya ko for flag show ni Adama Latse pe si ke e betray Nii Yaote Oto ga big time. Because ni ateshia mi le eshia ni aya photo ke ni bi ke no mo sakumo me fe ni agono akechi mini
Nii Yaote Oto
tafache mini ji gaja se chenu chumo le ba o gamanche gaja se che enu chumo ji mo ni ba o gamanche ni gaja se chenu chumo ji ke gamanche gbo le e ba domoshi ni e ba fu gamanche. Ewo beni attention ni angono na photo kani bi ni motoga edomoshi ni efugamanche ni aroto dinto ena gashi ni de ko leji dateche. Right aba fulata money for gamanche le no ewu manche ewo tefete ni otasia ni motoga ekemanche eba agame ni bono ni bon oyemi mene no tabaka no ne woni no mu Adama fa no shishi no ne woni nke akachi bi no etane gamfa kote mene in wona shishi wa denche because mini papa ne eyemi na a photo eyemi ni awo Adama Latse ewo kedi wache otoga ewo Adama Latse ni saji eboy ba ka akamuko ya kote ni otinto lesani eba defender me agesi ishia ni ata
fair arbitration
photo
yep
ishia na ata ni afe no fero di wo fe wo no mi na wo ni efedi ya ni tete ko akpale leche ete joy abengbere ke o by force na kata memi because ni agaka din ba abele mona abache jaseche money awona mona akpale ame force na mekla woni emi keke kodi ameleche amejaseche
yep
wake afe de ken bi fe yoshia ni the same bomo akele akota agesi mini wo eba wo manje ni bo awatoshia na afolo na afe na agbasane keni min anmo onyo ba fa papa na ya agesi iyo da sa agesi papa na leji da seche
yep
But he was there. Ni aka Nii Yaote Oto court e ya me na kata me onyo kama si Nii Yaote Oto just paper cheni. He was there.
Yeah.
He didn't defend. He didn't say anything. Nii Yaote.
Yeah.
Imi nefu ni kata shiona. Nkeba yue. She one thing nye wofe program me ko ba yue no ko. Ikao kadina mi yopo. Shama kama no ko Nii Yaote min dobo pa na no min kedi Adama Latse Nii Adama Latse. Me kome ni esaro wara me be ko bo. Mene paro mene mi nke shichichi nke di Adama Latse me kome esaro wara me be ko bo.
Yeah.
Because ke I be try once na me nyame gbebu e ke o ha me gbe impa am back gbebu bi gbebu ko. Because girl no ni ya no kan ni ya te no fe ni o tin to ni bi comment ani e different di ni bi comment ani e demonstrate ya ke enemy o da say enen sha ba fe enen neke papa na ejwe why mi no papa de efe di ni kwe mo ko na pale ke mo ko ni e bo hia achecheme ni aba photo ke ni bi ni no ne de counselor no nyeke declare court ni bodo oyemi o hia na aba nke na ga to na afo e ona to na afo e la to ese na afo e mene amenta ke e ba hia ko amenta me sana me fo e mi ke ga gatete mi ke gatete akichinke ona to la na me fo na me chuwe ni odoba nke amena ncha me sana me fo ame fro. Because kaji abata Nii Yaote Oto ntoshia ni afe kusun ni ake to shoshi ni achusa akeshi papa boji daseche ni ake daseche ya court sani Nii Yaote Oto sani le akra court first kuno ike sana ake Nii Yaote Oto akona bila akeshi ani gadase ka ba gadase sani eshia efita gadase shia in the first place ababi akishi papa oshia ke aye jase sani oshia fita jase shia ke akamokumba ya akote numo sakumo de kaya akot ya ke ledi moni eto efe kusu ha jase di otoga she honor a bro keni fite me wo because mini Nii Yaote Oto choose the echok be papa no ni eke gamanche ba ke okwe ke de 2017 ni kadi mo ba no ni no fana mo chake mo ma kumo ke okane wolu efe okane ona no fana te no fe ke de 2017 no ni kadi mo ba no ni no fana am fam amama me demo chake mo oke aga akote nke bene me fat amama me fe ka o prison mi kanye no ko I swear bada ekwe ka be to kote ambe joma ke shi me dey the right person. I'm not insulting that she nke bada ka te kote o ba ke dey that she I don't have sense I see this person is not the right person.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm a calling no kwe bi eni e ba wa argument no fi o keke o place.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Paulike, for clarification, the arbitration was done after Adama Latse has been gazetted. So be amina fi arbitration no me any Adama Latse won gazette lo mo e gazette through. It was not done at the traditional council because at that time Adama Latse and Jase has been attacked at the palace. Oh, okay. So no me attack ya me before ya jeme. No one akete Nii Yaote Oto shia. Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
When need that ate attack that other councillor. Ofane na mo man crown of that as a cancer. Ah. Oh, nyeme. I'm a fool sempe me yo ye ni e. I don't give a fuck. It's quite shame mo ko be ye ka.
Menele o ye ni ele ejegbe plague shing menele.
Nke ise mo ko be ye ka. Ise na mo jibo. Mini wo fa wa gbo ose. Odi mushi. I want a fool. No me dabi na me tajabe. Ni otinto before that about Adama Latse. Ni otinto was acting damanche in that other council. I don't mind.
Yep.
You got a position there. Papa, me kenoko. Ni otinto in a position ni act as damanche before.
As president of the traditional council, yes.
Thank you. As a president, thank you so much in the day. Wakaji aba attack because of Adama Latse. Onu okota ke papa eleko. Tale oleko ani ka wa bi e. Shi nke wo fe ba be ka be tu owo. Wo ja wo ji yen, o ba kwe. O ba kwe. So I don't manye ba ofe.
Yeah. Ishe. Ovare nyani wo fi a course enyoko gege wani wanyeme iba nya watwa wachene kinklen ni wakale ajia shishi. Fema ge ko wakaje idli ni aminton so nyani watwale. Hello, Nje.
Hello.
Yeah, ufane to your thing.
Hello. Over Dubai.
One way check. That's right.
Just from where they Ubra afagwe fi ko afi wa to body.
Yeah. Ufane oja ipano awon way.
Ofane yo ba wan fo no koko keke video ko.
That's right.
No me mimbo ngane ni ba na ni mimbo sabi ni wo to e baba o. Si doko bi bio keke ya gani nke ba fo mi pe keke ni to ma bibu keke no explain no pon ke ma cha. No mbra mi pa fa esi ba mi. No gan wo ba fi wo yan si da gule ke so.
Oh.
Because ma ya beni ayi ma inda ke sike ko ni se amedio no ni se ameka ni bidio because beni ma ya na mbra yes ba mi impa ken bra le bia na interdibo because oto bro no ba we denye no the interdibo
that's right
no mi bia ke no ne ke so no isi because maybe ni ya no po bia ne ke no ko be na ndo ba yi na mi na no kwale no ake ni se ne potential como ni como ni ta frache ni mo ko ba o ta mo de english na ai english na ni je tinto nke bo ake tinto ke ne ke no wa me ne ke ni bia ni fitelo di ami ni fitelo di ami ni ka yue ni obla yan bi ta frache fiofio na ke ba na ba ye wo ka cha no ka mi yan mi se gidi because mo fe mo na mo ko ba yala na ni ta frache mo ko etesi Kevin Paul o to no fi ne to mo be mi me ne inlele si o le la un yo trim no si o bra mi bi on sa die be na me yale ina no ni po no ba yu no ba ka no bra yan bi ni organ ba tesi ka tesi anke min po si ka no wo si ka bi bio ko na ke yan me se ke mo fe mo ba me le na me no sister because ni se be project bra no o you on no fit as me no o fi o program ne si just ke for me o mo ko ne gbo ta fa che no yo no dra ko ne wona me ko na fo an ya be si anda
abi
mo ko ne gbo na fu lo gbo ni aban me ko be ba bo nya ma lo ka ga nya iska ke ni ga nya ko sika
na kan sane wo ba yue wo
ke ya
yeah wo ba
ke ya mo ko Kaya amoko so by force te esame aba na chele eba fun ni mo robeni kani la ganye momo din komeni flo ni mo efo momo ko na wajin ko na aga afu mo ko bi ni ba yi bu wa wajin ko man aga na fo mo esa na fo le si
Ah, o mi no you on there.
me ba je kuma se mo ma me ba ke nya gesi afu mo ko si ane e wo ne ke ni ke esani ma ba je na ke leta ju ba yen ko ma imba me kwa mo fa wo mo si ni me kuma ba la o fa ne o ni ba le wa nu we thank you that was
all right okay all right nyani wo fi two more calls again ngencheme ibano 2 more calls. Hello, Nche. Manya blawo.
Ni tete AKA authentic. Alias the Dangbe Media Personality of the Year.
Thank you.
Oh, for me, mita mapia ke oke papago. Na mo fire oduba.
Hey, papa really fire mo ne fire le mlenje nye madumuna.
Eke ale na mi pe papago. Ale kunjo fenshine. Ye ejishini fire. Get papago. But not your sure, these guys want to take our lineage to be our weakness.
Yeah.
Watch a time you have to lead them boot for boot. I think that would draw the attention of the government.
Yeah.
Into the issue. Like we were talking yesterday. As I know what actually what began to know about one secret Nii Yaote Latse.
That's right.
One defense force. I've been working like for every occasion. Baba no ashale ko. I've been working boot for boot. If I just security threat, the government will set in. So I feel like small baby. They will keep on taking.
Baby.
That all meet more boot for boot. Go meet the boot for boot there. If I had a government session.
Yeah.
Until I feel again, go back to can you I'm going for them. I should nail that guy. The was and what we organize for him.
Yeah.
Walk over and security protection. Nii Yaote Latse. One standby force. I'm going to I'm go back. Walk and back.
Right.
That's the only thing about your government can back. Judge for New York and there. I'm not the for I'm not going to one. Oh, not advice show New York.
That's right.
I'm going to my back and you back to anyone. What can you think for about program now? What will the
one try.
I don't know.
One try.
Okay.
In try recently. So about in try recently. That's right. Thank you. That's right. Bye. Yeah. In try I get nothing to about Gracie. platform ne no low. I've tried. So I can't yaga true any so we'll see. We'll see I get eba pedelo. Nya wabu amaha watu mawa. Okay, my wife go ready. Acknowledge it.
Nii Yaote.
Yeah.
Manye, me
Manye
ba
blau.
ofen mo do manye.
Yeah, blau.
You are don't care and qualify no yo. Ye show ne no. Pramane no mo fen mo bo to ye nye me fen iyo pramane no. Mo fen mo ni yo bi ke manche me. Manye me mo fen mo no bo to e on ba mo fen mo do manye.
Manye blau.
Nii Yaote o yero ko bi no ke o try na ke mini. O ti to ba show ne no.
Yeah.
E bang. Enye ni ba. Hey, but what we any bang any bawo. Because ke ba eliake amale ke ni bi ele fe ba jipo. E ba enye bang enye bawo. Na ke gbo mo ade sane me ne ka fla che ne ke gbo mo ade sane ke mi inyanyo onye no ke wa fe nyanyo don. E ja ke mini kente ni nyuda ni si da machi inte si afi no go ke no ba wo mi on. You stab me in the back. You stab me in the back. Ni eto the only lenenche ona imagine que lenenche ade lenenche e mama mi no na fe leneke e campaign na fe leneke ba ale ha ten e si na photo we ni ke ye na kan to na afo ni akwa me say again
no yeah the same arbitration no yeah
I'm a fan ni na mi ke useless be so useless be so one na you ha bokomoko I mean, because what's a man one, but it's a baby mansion gonna be. But your mansion, Yunupa. In reality, no, Yunupa.
Akuje, if I get Oyeni, okay, ju Okaleche, beggar no honor.
Mini, you know, they call war. I love mini. And Jack Becker did you way. What that? What that? Jack Becker did you way. What that? Mancheni bena ke handle because you got a shim mancheni ne o ye moko no pa e bi no way allow me gray hair ye feel lepo inja feel inja gray hair feel a blow na me bo na kai a blow we di bono bi nyenye ni na le nyenye na ya so na junior Adama Latse yan le no de nye keni ne Ike noni te no fe na kele le no ne ku gani ne fe every time aya ba ma peto ma se ko na ka ke mi every time onye pa na ke bi ni pari ani ya Kevin bote se Manchester ja cho le te tumba ja se ke bi na cho le
ayado
bi na cho la ke onye pa na ka e ka o tin to fi le ko be Bena ke soja fu e bana kan si mo ye pan. Bena ba sensi.
Yeah, o tin ton ke we bi e ba jen.
Yo, inke menona elehe ko pepepe. Adie le yemi. Adie le ye loko mi. Elehe ko pepepe ni e ba fi ake o ni le ko le ta se. Na ke le ba wi e ti le ba wi ake le elehe loko ake Manchester o ye. Problem we o le ko because o si anu na afe ni e. O si anu na afe ni e. Ona enye anu kwale amali e fatun ke hanle. Ona ke no enye je glasses e. Glasses e na bu anu enye je glasses because e like ka je glasses ana ke ingle ni eto la efo ye mi. Amale son ingbele son ne gata je do mi ingbele. Nke me ne such a person me ne onye ocho bu ko nyanyo because ni amale lojibo. Amale lojibo. Obache no lehe no. No no na dia ke na ka mancheni ke aka traditional counselor e ke receive be me fia ke no ni na sha no kwale ni sane ye anu kwale. Ye anu kwale. Ike me be na me trouble traditional counselor ke ba de ba die na ka ewie no ko. But me ntia ke family law so ya.
Yeah.
No tell ma ke ba de ba die na. Denge. Ma die na ma ha na ni bo na ntoro ta se ni jamale law jibo. Madumo boy ni bo abale lo ji wodi bi maje na maje ni na akemi ake bo jinam no malio no you anu kwale no le aka ofita na Africa nke dumo gbe fun ake na ka ba bule ba la ke mancheni mancheni ibi ane ena she amale facho tango ko male be la ke benele ba cha show ma se woni ke ne ba no ke ni bi inoni sane defend mu ele defend yi then me tan enu e wo show de ba aka e no kwa chole legacy aye no ko actually legacy mini jo legacy ko te
yep
me no ga ha me ska am sure be ye I mean so say am male mi ake be na male lo ni aya go me ne o mo gbe lo amale lo ke ni bi si legacy ko ko na ke kwe me ne ba ne ke ba fi male ke ni bi am fe traditional council ke ni bi si sente school amanye da ke la di se te manje di bono nyenye na wo papa ne bono nyenye na wo nya da malati inke video je ye bono nyenye na ke ni ne ba no for the rest of his life video je ye ni bono adi Kevin say mi ne wo shika ke ni bi shika le na wo ba ni na shika integrity anu kwale yeli ye do ke boya hi anu kwale yeli ake amale echo coat na wo Kevin ta de be la ke je mancheni Eliake je mancheni really Eliake je mancheni me je mancheni wo nga ngo mi na tanye ya din cause ke je ba gbo elomo ele no ne nye na mane ba accident na go da ga na amale lo eso ni de ni amale ma yu amale eso me na amale lo eso je be esa na ko bo ba ri ba nya because o tere no ba bo emale mo me na ri ke wa ko tere no ba bo emale mo right away am a fe do sa video ya do tin to jo Kevin jo ko tere no ba mo emale mo amale lo eso me na me amale lo eso no ko na me pole je ba to de pole je now go gloves of course Joe got the follow tere no ba amale o ba amale je be sa no amale o awo ba ka ebu otu yeah amale lo ejian I hope I can ebu otu ke akwa me sa le je ulo mo o ke la me afa la amale lo no ka la me afa amale lo eso ga efiti na sante me ta sa mo asante me na me ha ni sika na me ke o nye fia ndi ne se ya kwa me je ame na ka me ye manche ka se go no ye ko ya ba pa bo si wo gan le dogni ta flash anaka na wo lulo no mi na banya infantry ba bote wote na fite wote si me na me fe na chame ame be ba se ye pa ko do ko gbodo sa ro bo into ko se la ke ni sa gbabo esa na go right sa gbabo me na me ablofo eji ame ni tete animal kokura yu
eshe mawa ofana ya wanu yi
ni tete dani ma akwa mto ba gbe go short
ofana ya no
bia na shina ata ke kaji manye mabi nche niji ni adoto tinto akeshi bia na woche Kevin ne ke woche Kevin ji manche ito ne ka wageshi tete poeji jaseche ni ewo woche Kevin ewo yo to gani ba ehia te inalete ne ba ehia ofane wadenche ke onupa efe je lepe ke onupa efe ni ameke ni otogaji jaseche ni ame manche na meglenye na moji moni wole me jaseche wole anini abata ni aduto tinto shia amepa ni otoga amepa la keje na jase ro ni dete papa na enye ebo oni no because lente ke ebano kengele we as nche kenyami she ebakpa na no ni bi ko ma bi le ngba sha ke ba 5 minutes e pakpa na no onumsi no bi agashi awo ewo namo jase cheni ewo Kevin because Adama Latse jase cheni wole legi ni otoga ni wo fe wole namo jase cheni ewo Kevin ni jase cheni yata Ni aroto tintoje na photo ni amefa me no shakeshi deji just che and ni otogana ni tete kwe
akuje you know something owo no kono keme ama anima amplify lo ni owo no koni ma no shishi
ogama wa aba no
eshe everything no na ni afe ya Kelvin no na abadumo bonu na ajo akete nu agbege ni no me fe doctor tete go e be mi se mi na agba legeba Semi. Bena ye ni ansin shi afe ga ne. Oh, ma wa bote bovi.
Ni tete mimba mo fe mo de omanye.
Manya ba.
Kledi ajo mo fe mo ne na de kan. Deba eba fita wo ye bi ne. Yo ajo mo fe mo. Baba ro. O manje egbe e fire ni bi ami nchon yi. Egbe e fire ni bi ami nchon. They won't change egbe to Nii gang mafia. Nii gang mafia. Change egbe Nii gang mafia. Ogbe fire ni bi ami nchon. Ogbe fire ni bi ami nchon. Betrayal e fachon. Betrayal e fachon. Mapa. If you are in about your bed, your babaji bridging. Obey facho ye bi ami. Obey facho. Nii gang mafia. Obey e facho. E fire ni bi ami jo. If you are go to about your bed, got to be at your bed. Cannot feel any baba no. Obey jing. Mapa. Ofane. Come on, no feno ye. She is honestly esabu kra mini otawo no nye ke nkwebo ya no nyam ko yo e shoke no ko eba fata he ni je ono ni ke ko ba no nyam bomo shi oke anu kwale nye Okanu kwale enye anu nyamba mo wajibu ofane femo no koye because ogbe fato ni boni gbe e fa kishi jeni awe no kwa pa shi no fe no negative so anu nyam no ye jeno ko bibioni shi oke anu kwale enye Shika or Fiona no Fiona. Low mini fame. Because get omale fame obana because you have that charisma.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like charisma. You don't need to lie. You don't need to treat people bad. Oh yeah, like charisma. Niye fiano babote abanabu. Jeto kamalike langa tefitai. Don't yo ke o ya no kwale trust me o eno ba share je manche poyeli je sempe manche ke o bomitwe ke o bomitwo juba je sempe manche asanoyi o shitamo no ta ejeme je sempe manche asanoyi you be more than that ko kan kwale fita osane hani anu kwale afayo odin ni babo fa no ni no kwa febo she ni babo fa ka hani o anu kwale afa no je ne ke mi na cho amene langas na yo he je mo ne ke langas na yo he no fe ni akpa because just only limit to he because of our money o we anu kwale ni bi fonji afe ni bi ne sa afu cement ke block won mi pa bo fai o be e fire ni bi aminto mi repeat ko jesembe manchasa no ye o limito he jemo na kanibi efe ke jo jemo We are not perfect. Nobody is perfect. She show kwasanu oni ne o chake ni bi kome yohi. Asano chake mo ni bi kome. Jemo me kome your life me. Jemo me kome only me ni cho jemo me kome your life me. No ka mi kwale afi o de cho. Iba fine ni no kwa fe bo me tabo fine no bawala. No fe the right thing. No nasa no fe as a leader no fe. Because so be facho. Nema ani mo kwa ba.
It's sad. It's sad. Probably get probably Bolly is elderly. Ni Bolly any tuning kesheni at least ona like I said at some point it's like in his life Bolly enye dang be flag ona so Dr. Nii Yaote Oto, and like I said, to mobini boli ni ajeshishi. If on fail ajeshishi, then I will leg about me. If on fail, I'm a jeshishi yomo. Na me na ke wa anya useful. We know ona bani ni ona te ni alaka le ni ba mi. Ona abo ni e kukumo. Ebe shi na abo ni e kukumo than he said. I'm more like about me. Of course, le un to ba fit. Anyways, abaje.
Yeah. Una wa igbeda ke dan wo chon de mo guy. Cheme ke me manye fenye din o manye. Mbe pi ko choma wi shimo. Nii Yaote Oto the flache e shiba mi first go around ne. Ayato me kume.
Unfortunately, yes, yeah.
Now to Joe Blessing.
Yeah.
After the fact there, about black break about me. I'm a teacher. Tell me the same thing. I feel he said me a black woman. It was an many the flatche a main and besu bank. I'll go watch it the queer le ke Adamo kuini ke gash be mobile. No me nye machon. Si tu mon beni la sen yue lepe ele eichumi sani. Ewo lenoni esa ake no ni sani fi eba fi ni gan ya jole. Ewo watch it the kwe e konkan mi. Maawa wiake shi ni sempe je sempe matesane shi noko ni chife no ken be shujuba mita mabi maawa kashi naga no minini taplache wache wolele ake mkonite shon ye school ya mi wole ake wache in a boxing class shon chon ete ashe kumu shi taplache chon war boxer ni wole wache ete soja beni yene ka shie bo machine le peni ba le wi o keje taflache agbene wole nwa keshi eke domoku ko ni mene ake amechun spoon ni o mita mabia ke keje simpe manche ni eyi ba ye mini jina ga no ni achon ni ba ye alo ba fi ni etife simpe manche ili
I mean, Mani Mawa Jibonashi, you know what I took out of what you see, the guy is very charismatic. Look, every young person in New York has Somali. Bona. So yes, ekole Mawa
every young guy Somali. Be na meshiole. Ye Sumoni. There's difference between sumo, the difference between
baby. Genuinely na me Somali wa. Look, he's a charismatic guy. Yeah, look. You may not like that, but they do. Most of the young guys in New York, they like the guy. People like him. You can tell.
A lifestyle na mesumo. A lifestyle ni you're the way ni you're na mesumo. You got to need sumo because of you are so good. A lifestyle ni get langa ka na fin get that thing ni no mesumo like gidi ni yo. No mesumo.
Okay. Anyways, abaje chano.
Le ke sumo na jo be na shole njo ale nyo fen hu o. What? Ti in mainly any potential ba anya ya beyond simple macheli. Okay. No I can't find. When you meet Papa Road, you know Koni Masa if you simple manche a year acting president of Professional Council Benimini Niga Nii Yaote Latse that's him. Semi mon na fi ku etan ni I use Boli Benona atom na ke je Dodo Saki Ejen ni simple bataille na kan gbe chije Benimini Adama say yo sen or dabi. So I just want to make sure I can in there.
Yeah, it was in 2021. Yeah.
Right. Correct. She me no ni poten ni minta makai mambi yake mensa le monshi ke wo gba na kesa ne be me yen pa no alo kula ka yue e ho mi chon am fem new thing to yes e betray Nii Yaote Latse e jela skoming lele hu e shana afi arbitration ni abagbe pa mo moniji gan fen ja seche she said me ni Kelvin ba le new thing to echu na bache Nii Yaote Oto kan que les chiens bini ni mo shoje Kelvin Tackie tayen ni e pale fai akele Nii Yaote Oto gan ni junyo no e pene ne ngono ni le he la vine wum ne si Nii Yaote Latse se ko ne ba ye ja seche e ha le Kelvin ne e wo ni sempe e je come pe ni stab no in the back ni wana Kelvin but she said me ne Kelvin e wana Kelvin ba na me lia ke si Nii Yaote Oto gaja seche e wo I try ni le aje le unye numu ese na kla pe mi koni Kelvin aye emu e wo lelen yomo na yo ni sempe e feno wa chon ye gamante sane na mi e mieko ni tumombeni yue ke huwe oloe na fu ni akamela shweshi ye le eshian mi ye danso ma no ni bagbe na
Ni enu kita kama shishi. Le noni ke eba kita kama ni ashwe la shie. Non noni edamoshin ha. Twakoko wala. Emuchi. Kafu kulue meamba ya Chila ni noni yo na kwe neke ni he. Ake na kanshia ni sempe akele pele. Bia ne ehe ni ekepe sempe traditional council palace / Njeme ji ni sempe me ulumo efe ya kwe oye. Na me pa sempe no ya ke sempe ni bia ye. Ni ofe no ko wulu ne ken jeme. No tona kan ni no. Chila ya kwe. La John Lu. Gimo ni ye yue. Kita ni ye kan. Fe na kan shia miolo. Ni sempe kengmene no shina kan shia no amano konklon no kyo kwa afi traditional council asempe ni la no solo. La eba nyo solo. Peko tawe jole fimono ni sai. Oche le egbele eninemi. Eba elebu. Kanu kwale yo chwimi. Ni sempe if it go too late. If it go too late. The thing grab up here.
Ishe. Nani watcha brakote eke wake wanu femo eba nagbe mene. Yeah, watcha brakote real quick eke excuse me. To move in ke wake wanu femo eba nagbe mene. And like I said, I have more of the another court document kuni isanimani nyelendo so makane no manye work sometime next week ake obanye watu nakani elo once again Dr. Tete nge akesani ete ekon ye commence court ni ele ko semi na la kele no niji no I'll give you that nyega ya yichi nje
yeah
to your thing
yeah omanye no
omanye ova no jai kwano
If na pe to mo gbete ne pe ye money nta wo ma ye are you a
bona that's right
are you if na pe awula ni ye sani ani kwe no bile min ke ma bile na kan no ma bile ado ya aga si o tin to le lo dugba
right
kona in charisma fine shi kwa mini kwa sani le ba ye gamanti lo mini kwa o tin to le ba ye gamanti lo alo to na bile mi le go ya tun ete soja melene ti a discharge le dishonorably je ni le soja mi ke ni ne go record bona net na tale to gede we lo ke ga fi small ma bi ni bi ma fi yan CP ni ken na ni awo mena ma ja ne wo nke si kwe asante manteko kalema ye fẹ́ mọ̀ yi degree se to mo fi change you afino ke positions ne hold ke ni bi na ona o ngaji ka gbe ko ye consistency ni agashu o manchene alo ame akrowa na o manchene fẹ́ se me ni tu Nike ba ke langadi. Ona langadi kage langadi man. Yangbele.
Boni you again do when they ba channel no. Boni you.
Oh, kemo no gashi gashi agbala glaba kemo waba. Na ba fi yan. Keba sanima bile lente ba pe eme na ba pa lente ba pe. Ona ni lente ba pe ba nye tamiti. Ona ni lente ba pe o game na alomo atamu ne ba dan woni agate ba to moten.
Daimo le enya woni di daimo le woni
di daimo. Ga wo muji wa.
Yeah, daimo le.
Ga wo muji wa ga shi tomo ta toilet money on na we small boy.
Kwa benza.
Kwa benza. Ona obo ye ju ulomo. Ote oke ju gamanche. Ona ni fe na me fio ya me fie gan yin ashi. Ama fie gan yin amaji. Ko gbigbo ba ka ni gbese gbigbo ga mi fun kevi ge wa le fele. Again, I did gbese ju ologun ga don te ju.
Also, that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good, and he that hasteth with his feet sinneth.
Kenny, ni gbese le tege wa le fi gama che me ni mo. No. Ba ta si sa na afi ni na adura wo si mo tobo mo bo we be ni ma ta no go poteni ma ataka ni galenche kenye yuwe ufa no wa je ni kenhwe e fi ran ke gan wo jian me yi e fi me fi na mebe amebe gan wo jian be osani adegbe eni ake wo jian jeje kini bi ata manche okay me gan ma manche ko yo gan ni e command or respect bi anto no wa no to me.
That's a tough question. Yeah, that's a tough question.
Yes, I'm a fan of your icho ka gbele fe basa. Basa nsene ekokolowa ka awon manyeme keni bi aka wo komi aga fe manyeme saveni.
Oh, you mo jo bamba. Wo komi
Oh, wo komi manyeme na wo na gana ni agbene agbe wo alo agbe to asu o mai dani akame ya nso na nyomi tagay na akame jaba mo na agbe ni asu ame na po mi ni to mo meji gbete no yi mi na fe
aw
ona ni
yeah
ato pa ega ame fite ga kusun ega ga he wale bemi ole chenu ko ye olo sofo mensa je me ye Amadu Tackie Adama
in the Amadu traffic light.
Yes. Niko Amadu Tackie Adama no tonke ya paledio. Yeah, bwako eje meni Rolling Star me eni colors keri bi o mokote ifagbeni ya agbete ni ahio mu tulu keni bi keni megeba ka bele keni bi ne wo beni kalabule ta me o ne je ba tole lọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀bẹ́ díẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ mẹ́ pi àbá jẹ́mi ní ẹ̀bẹ́ àjẹmí ní ìbọn náà jẹ́ kùmà ní association ní gáàkù ẹ̀jẹ̀ mẹ́ tí wọ́n bá ti ẹ̀gbẹ́ ẹni lè kúrọ̀ sí ọdẹ kata mùtúlẹ̀ tí gàlọ́ gàsìn tí ń sẹ́ àtọ́ ọ̀lẹ̀ ẹ̀jú èkó mi ókè alákìlì pàdé máa lẹ̀ náà ṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ jù nìyẹn ṣé mogomogo náà lẹ̀ kẹ́ ńgbọ́n bá wì gẹ̀níbi ṣe alákẹ̀lẹ̀ ni mo ní àjùwé ní ẹ̀ lákẹ́ òṣùmọ̀ sí nínú wọ́n fẹ́ wọ̀ lákẹ́ mẹ́ni. Iwo ndị tele ya kewo ncheme na ba atanawa ona ni na ke o na to na ko le ba bile sani ke o ko le lo je ta fa ke fi so ke fi wa le be Le tafurate. Ene yuene. Be ye. Ninte gane yana le gboko e ololo. Le ju muchura le. O game wura mo e. Ame wo e wale bemi. Wa esa ta dogo. O tu na so fe to bemi. Oh gan nyankwe gan ya. Yeah,
That's right. That's
Boni what you come you if you not pay okay glen jomu in case the government pay attention no ni yaro na maka me na menkwe bona no ba anno e galewu mi ka no na maka ba wo mo no awie na jana kanda
yeah
akase mi nyefio nye mogo ba jeshi mama waka ke mama wa nye send message
yeah
akasi be waka ke mama abane ba fi no wo si kaji me kumeno awo mante eko ni basa ba ne soto committee you commission na fi once an nye kwe ha wo ko ni after the right thing ye ganshipon
yeah
ona na talmani wo minili wo kewo adunami ko no bi me ake ba en se wo tutu na fame ye Philadelphia pe agasi Maryland ni gege ato na ganga ku je mi ko ni afi ape ye bi ene da alo afi phone call conference call ko ni akata afi o te na ya na ke mo te ma wi ninu wo yu e bi ene da ke da lo le je mo no wo bo wi mo ni tuni
yeah
etuni amefena mafie no o tade manyaba
yeah eradon
invite me o fele no o ba wi ma do bo mode
eradon
keke wo wa bo magwe kinteko wo wa wo kintiti chulu
you
okay take care
yeah you too bye oh man Mawa again all right Ajambo our ball is coming okay akuje bote momi mo akuje
Wandamofia moshi kawo babie ni wo wie moko akakola akeshi afrache woje wonge no nugo ba won wie keke won wie ni daje mo aba won wie ni ye ni ton no fia ipa fa akweni ajaje
that's right
won wie wo ba wie akeshi ushi machine kene wole yana no kwale ka wole meneto ni pia moni eton ye ga no ka oba pa ne no mo ha ne ile akeshi oton
that's right
ya akeshi muko cheku ele we pa ne no
dabi
cheku ne ha muko ote muko bribe ye pa ne no
dabi
wo boni ikashi ye na ka pepe no ba yuile
nagai
wo ke ona akeshi woba ni won ke oshibasha ke oto bomo no ba ko no ba foro ko ba ya ke o ya pe sadu o ke die fe a chole
that's right
di agbene ke o ka ha le won no bi la ke si papa no ni wo bi na yu one ani le alo ja no
yep nakai yep
si ke kaya di o ke bi mo sha ya fita no ka ha le ni e ba fe mo ba gba ke si be itashi no wo ba wo saniko wo ba wo isani o yue si bi la ke si na no ni osima si bi na ke ani nu mo no na me wi wona ani anu kwale no lo ani nu mo ame ke ni otogaji gba se che ani la ke ni otogaji ja se che lo no na me wi anu kwale no lo ko ni bomo no ka le ko ni emalebo ne ke ba ke si dabi keke dabi e agbene no oyase no so abi moko we kwa gashi no go ji gada se che kono kwa ke bino ba le se bino jo o ba la e pon o ba yu anu kwale agbene iwo One ton gan fait ajaje ni date.
That's right.
Ton bono papa ba gan côté ba we. Gan egbechi. Gan enyoshi. Nisani gan ewomuji. Nisani ajura gan.
That's right.
Moko be ni eba ajura gan apart from numo la côté adwa oshi. Moko be lumoko be tofa toko be ni eba nye ajura gan. Baja numo la côté adwa oshi. Ni date.
Yeah.
E akeke ayawo mo konkro ke ba besani ekpa gan mi fe ne bolishi e ba ye 3 days fe de gbe ko na yi chi numo la ko ti ado awo shi e ba ye domo shi shi na shi ni ke wo da ke ma shi e wi mo ne ba wi fe e ba po gan fe numo la ko ti ado shi e ba jepo ni ke ewo da ne domo banta na ye shi anye ne ke dan so shi e ba pata gan fe ya ke shi dole ne ke we mi e mi di gan ni mi fun e mo ne shi ni wota ne acho sofo gbo ni e ba na ye we ni ke aye sani e ke le no ese che national security bi ke le no e ba shwe na ka me yin ashi ni agbe na we ya asafo acheme ka oba wie amemo be threat owo ni asafo acheme ni amemo sani abefa ni aya asafo acheme mi yin ni chumo ni ameya na ka mo so mo Sunday ni amagrale na abetura ke kwe obu mo lo e ke enyemi ganyo mo nfe ni e ba threat enyemi ganyo
na gbe na we wo lo ne ba lo mo
Iba ro ni ba lo mo na gbe na we na sa chumoko
na yile ile we te na ko le
ayi lo gba
wo ba yue wo Friday vibes wo ba yue bejele lumba Sunday ke na we will put it all together Friday vibes so join more
yeah me come on where I think I will be a fire
is abaje
Dora donc mo beni ko fe won iwe question yen kan le eyan pomo engo na gashi poparo renche ewi na kan no agashi dani moni ba yen pen ba yen pon kan ji numo si se numo la ko te ado awoshi me gameke ameyo sele Seseni la gbanya.
Hey, ochegu.
Oh, they were actually being.
That's right. Wabanu shishi.
Eno chenye nini. Kone ni ni baadme. Uno mwe kobaja. Kobaja. Yeah, you more there.
That's right.
That's right.
Nakai, ishe. Okaleje kawakpa.
Yo, eksheme kenyeme. Onda mo fe moshi.
Nakai.
Ake da ne nyembu otwe nyeba wa. Ni otwaga o mashi. Mo fe mo chon edwamo. Pramane no anu qualify you ebie. Wo je moku, je ni wo jelu moku. Da ne yi onu kwa kenye ke nye ba shi ganye hawo. Nye ntwa ganye mashi. Ganye kwa ba makpapa na ebu. Baba njoji papa na ko na bu. Ni na mo ntwa ganye mashi. Na mo ntwa na kan gan mashi. Gan teno nyine wa shi nya hawo. No na ka male ke kudu mpoto a. Anu kwali la shi no e. Sha male ke kudu mpo wa shi. Oh cheme. Enye bebe nye sumo gan sa ni mo. Ni sumo gan sa ni gan ni twin pa nkwe. Ye ba kasi ma ke wa bo ablo. Wala icha wo di wo ise. Ni wo ba ka ke komo. No mo la ko ti agba usi ono ne wa papa Nii Adama Latse bo ono ne ko ni mini sane ke sane aya. Ko ni mini amedu mo shi eja ke mini ame bi jinye. akemini ko bi nyo show na no mini ofo wa de mini
wa chumo
wale na kani ni tete na kai ko di eyen tai na dai ni bi ko e ja ke mudie e dinye e bolegan fin ni ana sinye na e ja ke shika na yo no de ngona amelaka o ka bi ya na me bu ameti da bi ye kanu ye pana ko ye bi ye beni ogbono te musue no ko se e ba nyo bi ase musue ni okọ se e ba nyo obi ase e ba nyo bi aboko lomo mo ko ye bi e afi ate wo lomo nye e si won kenye no ni ba dwa musa ne wo yo e wo ka ake mo ko bedwa mu won dwa musa ne ake mini musue ni wo sumo ne na ka musue enye bi ke na bi ase e ja ke mini amefe ko loko bo babo na ka blow e nke o ya ka ake musue no o ba bo e wo na ka musue bo ba ya da bi jema what je le no fe ka ti agbabo bi ya e ja be bo te na ba ni no bi ye ni o ye job ko du mo e ko o si sabafo e ka o mini po fe ni no ko le na kan ta di o e se amalie ke na ku ka se aha mo kome na to le Kevin Tackie le justement le ho di abonsan bo abonsan se bi e tekino le je sane je small gang kwen efe no na efe ye small gang kwen le na cheche kwen efe le na kai e ja ka mo ga na kai fe le e la ke le la che kwen ya nye shia here bu e ka mini ababa dwa gashi ababa ko gashi ga ni bi aba se shia ga ni bi ona e gbogbo e se gbe yi because e ya ke mini e ka male ni taje amale ke kutu po ni government e o ya ke ne ke ni ya no amale ni o le pese aka no kwale pe sana ke ye gansen ne tina no ya me sana me ndu oni bi ye wo mi ni amenchi wo ese ni wono ni wo fe wo ni bi ba me lo wo ni bi na kai no any guy say when ya ye wo ba se anu kwale ba jepo ke to na de do ma do yala no ju anu kwale ba jepo nkwe etu no yin ho no ba ke mo go yin ho so mu se ba jepo ke
that's right
ba jepo no anu kwale e ba ya mali no ni edin ye no da
that's right
idete anu kwale baba
that's right
no manya abla of
yeah chameka nyeme wonda nyefenshi akemene nwe wasa be worship na kana nyefenye yi ana walada okleje dromo ke mobo na le na wo obasa oba bi Friday vibes so wa mash le app oba yue na iwe Sunday oba yue daddy lumba Sunday oba yue mina chole numo kole versus nungwa oba machine ke ene me fin app ke banyele Friday vibes ele no formula bona eke wo botemi ke wo topic eke wo botemi so chemeke me nyeke wo afi abe eko wo gbeke ye bi nyefenye yi ana walada okleje ebu nyefenye yi ni iyo yake ye drum na oba pe ye bi wo nye yi waladon bye bye